dog walked the Los Angeles Lakers on their home floor.
Please stand by for a special presentation of Western Reserve Radio at westernreserveradio.com on the Live 365 network and the Live 365 app.
Chica, gotcha. The equipment manager is Eddie Duffy, athletic trainer Ian Wood, video coach Adam Morrison, assistant coach CJ Cush, associate head coach is Colton St. Clair, the head coach of your Muskegon Lumberjacks is Parker Burgess, and the general manager is Jim McGrady. Let's hear it for your Muskegon Lumberjacks! Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we ask that you please rise and remove your hats as we honor our country and the brave men and women serving in the armed forces throughout the world with the playing of our national anthem.
Welcome back into Flow Hockey, Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces. Ezra Janello along with you. Let's meet tonight's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Phantoms of Youngstown. Peters is on the left. Jamison Salai is on the right. Michael Messick will take the opening draw for the Phantoms. Luke Osborne and the captain, Colson Hanrahan on the back end. And Owen Liebeck gets his first start of the 2025 Clark Cup playoffs. For the Lumberjacks here in Muskegon, Ivan Rapkin on the left, Tynan Lawrence on the right, David Deputy will take the opening draw, Xavier Veo and Finn McLaughlin on the back end, and Shika Putin-Gadziev gets the nod for head coach Parker Burgess and the Lumberjacks. The only crew left to meet, the officiating crew, is assigned by the United States Hockey League. The referees are Grant Hendrich and Miroslav Iretz. Odin Nelson and Sean Rounds, they work the lines. The Lumberjacks in the white, they go left to right. The Phantoms in the black, they go right to left. Lawrence across from Messick to kick us off. Game 3 is underway. The opening draw won by Youngstown, and Osborne sends it in. Here's Veo, far side to the near side. Finds David Deputy. Up the wall through his own zone. In the neutral zone, Osborne takes it back. To the offensive zone he goes. Poked off his stick. Here's Lawrence. Shakes off a check. Now McLaughlin ahead for Deputy. Works on Hanrahan. Fires and scores! What a start for the Lumberjacks. First shot, first goal, David Deputy. "23 seconds in, and the Deputy strikes. A beautiful attack by the Lumberjacks. Watch here the M-Live replay. Tynan Lawrence gets the puck. He leaves off for McLaughlin, and Deputy, he uses the defenseman Hanrahan as a screen, and he fires the shot over top the blocker of Owen Liebeck. The Lumberjacks, their first shot, 23 seconds in. It's a 1-0 hockey game here in Muskegon. Center ice draw, won by Youngstown. Del Haro across the way. Here's Bauer Berry. It's chipped in the air, and now Santilli sends it deep. Gloved down by Gadziev, and our second stoppage of the game comes 33 seconds in. Well, all season long, Lumberjacks head coach Parker Burgess has talked in his pregame interview about the importance of great starts. The Lumberjacks, they got a great start to the series. They got a great start last night. They got a great start tonight. David Deputy, His 5th goal of the postseason, 6th point in game number 6. The difference maker so far. Here's Barry. D to Claire's near side, and now here's Jack Christ. Across the way, Spitznagel in the neutral zone, sends it in, though it's gloved down by Landon Resendez. Here comes Smith to the offensive zone, picked up by Barry, near side corner and across the way. Galanick takes a check, and it's kept in by Murphy. Back with Jack Galanick, he'll lead the rush. Galanick across the way, finds the stick of the captain, David Cleet, to the offensive zone. Rusinski, near side, Hextall, and across the way, here comes Resendez, met by Vaslav Nestrasil, who takes it away. Xavier Veo, near side. Across to McLaughlin, back up top to Cleet, nice pass finds Nestrasil to the offensive zone. Tried going between his own feet, but it's taken away by Santilli and cleared out of danger. Banach, knocked into by Galanick. On the near side, Nestrasil back for Veo. It's picked up by the captain, Clee. Back to Nestrasil, met by DeHaro. And now Veo leaves off for Clee. Across the way, here comes Rabkin down to the corner. Met by Santilli, but icing called against the Lumberjacks. And there's the official saying, knock it off. Santilli, a whack to the back of the leg of Ivan Rabkin. And this is what you know is going to come. This is a Ryan Ward head coach team. They're going to give you the business after the whistles. They are very physical, very aggressive. You can't get caught up into it. And we talk about it. We've talked about it. This is game 12 against the Phantoms. Every broadcast we say, hey, that's not an issue. That's just a strategy. And that's Coach Ward's strategy. Sometimes it works. The first 2 games of this series, it has not. Rusinski, the player to watch tonight for Youngstown, across from Tynan Lawrence. Face off in the Muskegon zone. One back by Tynan. Now Veo up the far side. He gets it back in the corner. Behind the net, Xavier Veo to Deputy on the wall. Taken away by Banach. Below the goal line. Popped out in front. It goes off of Lawrence and across the way. Here comes Rabkin looking to clear the zone. He gains the blue line, now the red. Looks to send it in. It goes off of Colson Hanrahan. The Jacks are offside. Hanrahan, near side of his own zone. Down the ice. Jardine gets a piece of it. Icing waved off. Here's Jake Toll. Look to reverse for Dexheimer, though it was taken away by Banach. It's forced in the middle. Here's Slice. Back with Banach. Up top, Hanrahan steps into a shot. Nice save by Godziev. He gloves down the rebound as well. Jameson Slice acquired midseason by the Phantoms. You know, it's funny, back when he was in Omaha, I called him Slice. Then I was told I was wrong. It's Sluice. And then I started calling him Sluice. Then I was told I'm wrong. It's Sly. No S at the end. So I started calling him Sly. Finally, I went to him on the concourse pregame. I said, Jameson, how do you say your name? He said it's Slice. Pronounced how it's spelled. He was in the trigger position, but it's won back by the Lumberjacks. Christ, Stefanik, and Spitznagel fresh on the ice. Stefanik picked up the puck, but hand pass called. Teddy Spitznagel gave it to him with his hand, so the faceoff will go to center ice. 17:29 to go in this first period. One of a few matchups tonight around the USHL. There's a chance, if everything goes to plan, that the second round is over tonight. Dubuque, who leads Madison 2-1 in the other Eastern Conference semifinal. They go at it at Bob Suter's Legacy 20 Arena, Middleton. That game already halfway through the first period, still 0-0. Sioux Falls looking to stay alive in Waterloo. They lead that series, the Hawks, 2-1, and they're on home ice. Spitznagel looks to clear it. Wilson went off his stick. It's back to the near side corner of the Youngstown zone. Here's Chase Stefanik battling for it. Hit against the wall by Houston. Now Veo puts it back in the corner. Wilson picks it up. Looking for Houston. He gets it back. Chip down the ice in the air. Looking for Slice. It's taken by McLaughlin. Now Spitznagel. Up the wall for Stefanik. Regained by Houston. D-to-D with Wilson. Over the red line. He sends it in. Wrapped around far side. Kirk Gherkin gives chase. Too many men on the ice against Youngstown. The play continues. Gherkin fires. Nice block by Rinaldo. And now here's Van Blaricum. Make that Sobieski. Rinaldo, a former Phantom. Big check at center ice. That's Van Blaricum playing his style. Now it's chipped in. Stewart, he gives chase the offensive zone. On the near side, Hess. MVB working for it to keep it in, though Murphy clears the zone. Met by Gherkin and carried across the way. Here comes Carter Murphy, chipped in and sent in. Veo, the first one on it. To the near side, ahead for Van Blair to come. Chip to the neutral zone. Murphy, once again, to the offensive zone. Here's Xavier Veo. Near side, Claire's off the wall. Back to the corner. Jacobes plays off for Conlon. Out in front, no one home except Jack Olenek, who now looks to clear it. Away from Stengrim, now pressured by Hess, goes below the goal line for Veo. And on the near side, here's David Cleet. Chips it off the glass, the offensive zone. Knocked away by DeHaro. It's back with Galanik. Protects and drops off for Claire's. Far side, Reese Lance gains the red and sends it in. DeHaro, the first one on it, gets it away from Lepak. Taken away by Galanik. Great play, though, by Rusinski. Forces it out of the zone. Reese Lance sends it right back in. DeHaro, the first one on it. Just over 4.5 minutes gone in the first period. David Deputy, the only goal so far, the difference maker. Sent down the ice, and icing is called against the Lumberjacks. So throughout the night, we'll give you score updates. Dubuque and Madison, Sioux Falls and Waterloo. If Dubuque wins and the Lumberjacks win, we're set for the conference finals. If Madison wins, no matter the outcome of tonight, the second round will continue. Madison in a similar boat to Youngstown. Face-off won by the Phantoms, but it's all the way back for Hanrahan to receive in his own zone. Up the near side, he sends it in. Bauer Berry met by Rusinski. Taken away by Ryan Rusinski, the future Buckeye. Hails from the Buckeye State. Up to the blue line, here's Hanrahan out of Longmeadow, Massachusetts. Fired on. Kicked away by Gonziev. Behind the net, it's Jardine. Back up top for Hanrahan. Fires a shot. Blocked in traffic. Far side, Osborne. His shot blocked as well. The Lumberjacks, they sell out. And now here comes Deputy. One-on-one on Hanrahan. Lawrence joins the rush. Deputy holds and fires. It's turned aside by Lepak. That's just the second shot of the game for the Lumberjacks, both off the stick of David Deputy. Here's Bannock. Far side of the red line. Retreats towards his own bench. It's picked up by Lawrence. Chipped off the skates of Rusinski to the near side. It goes off at Dexheimer and held up at the red line. Forced in by Van Blaricom. MVB near side wall. Looked for Rapkin, though it's picked ahead by Resendez. Now here comes Jack Hextall. Sends wide to Gonziev to the near side. He finds it on the wall. Met by MVB and knocked down. Dexheimer goes across the toll, and now here's Sanderson. Chipped high in the air to the offensive zone. MVB near side corner. Leaves off for Stewart. Gets it back to the blue line for Veo. Xavier, now Van Blaricom. Fired on. Deflected high and wide. And here's McLaughlin. Cycles it back down low. Van Blaricom behind the net. Back to the far side looking for Stewart. Instead finds Resendez. A couple of former Rough Riders coming together. And back at center ice, McLaughlin to the near side. Stewart. The offensive zone. Met by Wilson. Tapped forward. Here comes Smith. Kicking out for Cesar. Pressured by Veo. He puts the brakes on. Hard check by MVB. Here come the Lumberjacks the other way. Whistles blown. Cesar slow to get up. Still laying down. Now Veo taking harassment by Cal Houston. And Amber Martinelli, the Phantoms athletic trainer, makes the trek across the ice to talk with Peter Cesar, the Slovakia native committed to play college hockey at Northern Michigan. He's back up on his 2 feet under his own power. Gets a round of applause from the crowd here at Trinity Health Arena, and he'll make his way back to the Youngstown bench. Well, Van Blaricom, that's his second big hit of the game. And that's just him playing his style. Well, Cesar committed to Northern Michigan. MVB committed to Michigan Tech. So a couple of guys who will be rivals in college hockey already starting the rivalry here in the USHL. Messick with Slies and Conlon up front for Youngstown. Lawrence, Deputy, and Rapkin for the Jacks. It's one back by Lawrence. But to the far side, here's Sobieski. Near side, Murphy. Gains the red line, sends in cross-ice dump far side corner. First one on it, Bauer Berry, joined by Conlon. Rapkin drops down to help out and plays up the wall where Slies picks it up. Walks the blue line on his forehand, fires a shot, blocked by Claire's. Now Conlon up for Sobieski, T to D with Slies. away from Deputy. Poke towards the middle of the ice, set down by Barry. Here comes Deputy looking to win a race. Met by Sobieski, though, and taken away by the Phantom defenseman. Here slides in his own zone. Centers. Spitznagel looking to keep it in. Works hard against Conlon. It goes the way of Deputy. Now Stefanik just off his stick. Covering on the back end. Jake Toll swipes it away from Michael Messick. Heavy collision near side, but here comes Deputy. 3-on-1 rush. Deputy holds back door. They score! David Deputy. A goal and an assist before the first media timeout. Chase Stefanik. An easy backdoor tap in the Lumberjacks. They lead it 2-0. Well, Deputy will lead the fellas down the line. They'll say if the puck was going into the back of the net without Stefanik's help, it's going to be his goal. Let's take a look at the M-Live replay. First, you'll see a heavy collision on the near side, and then Deputy, he continues the action. Leads a rush, fires back door. It's going to be Stefanik's goal, and it's going to be a Lumberjacks 2-0 lead. We saw a similar assist from Deputy back on Sunday. Led a 2-on-1 rush, pulled a toe drag, looking like he was going to shoot it the whole way. He got Melvin Strahl out in no man's land, then slid it back door to Jack Christ. Does a similar thing here, getting Lepak in no man's land, and finds Chase Stefanik with about a football field of time and space. Here's Klee, his shot deflected by Banakin out of play. And now for the first time tonight, we go to a media timeout. David Deputy, 7 points in 6 playoff games. This guy's been itching for a chance to play postseason hockey. And now that he is, he's playing well. Don't go anywhere. You're watching the 2025 Clark Cup playoffs right here on Flow Hockey and the Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces.
You finally found the perfect car in Racing Blue. You even got them to throw in the LED fog lights for free. Auto Owners insures your car because some people never learn to parallel park. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Jervis Fethke Insurance Agency in Muskegon if auto owners make sense for you.
Keep going. More.
Welcome back into Flow Hockey, Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces. Ezra Janello alongside you with a friendly reminder that this Muskegon Lumberjacks broadcast is brought to you in part by Auto Owners Insurance. For over 100 years, Auto Owners has been dedicated to the independent agency system. Get local support from somebody you know. Whether it's home, auto, life, or business, ask your independent agent if Auto Owners Insurance makes sense for you. 2 shots on goal for the Lumberjacks. 2 goals in the back of the net. David Deputy and Chase Stefanik on an assist from Deputy. And it's 2-0 Muskegon. 12 minutes to go in this first period. Rusinski sends in Veo, the first one on it. Up the middle of the ice, near side, finds Nestrasil. Back across the way. It's behind Galanik, who retreats back for it. Great reverse check onto Banach. And now Jardine feels the love from David Klee. Nestrasil touches up. He's offside. The Lumberjacks, they're showing off the skill. They're showing off the physicality here in Game 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinal. Face-off will go far side of the Lumberjack zone. Face-off far side. Lawrence leans in, make it Stewart, and wins it backwards. Now here's Clares in his own zone. Danny Clares ahead for Van Blaricom and chip down the ice. Here's Santilli in his own zone behind the net at the Red Bank Generals advertisement. Far side, Hextall, a toe drag away from Stewart. He'll get his feet moving. Jack Hextall, a 2008 birth year out of Rolling Meadows, Illinois, committed to play college hockey at Michigan State. Now it's Resendez off for Hextall. Knocked to the ice. Fired onto Gadzia by Smith. Blocked in traffic. Second chance opportunity. Turned aside by Shika. And now on the near side, Bauer-Berry meets Hextall. Taken away by the future Spartan. Works across the goal line. Loose in the blue paint. And Gadzia jumps on to hold on with 10:59 to go in the first period. Face-off will stay in the Muskegon zone. Sobieski and Houston. Behind Banach, Stengrim, and Hess, the Lumberjacks respond with Toll and Dexheimer, Lawrence, Deputy, and Rabkin. 10:59 to go in the first period. Shots are 4-2 in favor of Youngstown. Oh, it's 2-0 where it matters in favor of the Lumberjacks. Game 3 of the Eastern Conference semifinals. Lawrence leans in across from Hess, near side of the Jack zone. Banach in the outside trigger position. It comes to him, but forced out of the zone by Dexheimer. Nope, kept in by Sobieski. Across the way, Murphy fired on. Turned aside by Gonziev. The official blew the whistle. He lost sight of it. And so the faceoff will go far side circle. Kazimierz Sobieski, you see him on the bottom of your screen, wearing 7 in black for the Phantoms, announced his commitment on Sunday to play his college hockey at RPI, the 2004 birth year out of Deerfield, Massachusetts. 142 games here in the USHL, 60 points as a defenseman. Here's Banach, left off for Stengrim, but taken away by Rabkin. Chipped down the ice, the first one on it, Houston. Fires it back up ahead. Stengrim sends it in. Knocked down by Rabkin. Dexheimer to the near side, looking for Toll. It's poked up the wall for Deputy. And now here's Sobieski. Across to Houston. Works down the far side, met by Rabkin and knocked down. Down low for Hess, taken away by Dexheimer, regained by Banach. Up the near side. Adam Banach, taken away by David Deputy. He'll lead the rush 3-on-2. Deputy near side, slows down, but he's met by Banach. And now Rabkin lays a check, looking to regain possession for Muskegon. Battle continues. Near side corner. Houston met by Lawrence, taken away. Back out to the near side. Bayo thought about stepping, but backs out as Banach clears the zone. Sent in by Stengrim, sticked away by Gonziev, and now here's Jack Christ. He'll lead the rush, though he's pinched off the wall by Messick and sent right back in by Osborne. Met by Christ, taken away by Spitznagel. Colson Hanrahan sends it back in, and Gonziev behind the net slows it down. To the near side, a nice pass to Xavier Bayo, chipped out of the zone and down the ice. Osborne takes it away from Chris, and again to the Muskegon zone it goes. McLaughlin, the first one on it, takes a check from Messick. Michael Messick, slow to get back up to his feet. Well, here comes Stefanik. Kicks out for Spitznagel. Met by Hanrahan. Spitznagel knocked into the wall. Puck goes the way of Stefanik. Both guys back up to their feet. Spitznagel knocked down by Hanrahan. To the blue line, Bowerberry. His shot knocked out of play by Brecken Smith. And with 9:07 to go in the first, we make our way to another media timeout. The Lumberjacks, they lead it 2-0. 2 shots on goal, both to the back of the net. David Deputy on one, Chase Stefanik on the other. You're watching the 2025 Clark Cup playoffs right here on Flow Hockey and the Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces.
NHLShop.com, the official online store of the National Hockey League and the world's largest selection of officially licensed NHL fan gear with unique one-of-a-kind designs by Fanatics and all the latest styles for every NHL team. Don't miss out. Shop now and get today's special offer. NHLShop.com, a Fanatics experience.
We're back into Flow Hockey, Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces. Ezra Janello along with you. Big shout out to the Youngstown fans. They traveled very well here to Muskegon this Tuesday afternoon. There's also a watch party going on at the Kensington Golf Simulators. And of course, you're also catching this game on Western Reserve Radio. Here's Lance, fired on, deflected by Hextall. Back up the far side, it comes to the blue line for Bowerberry. Pushed down the wall by Golanek. He keeps it in down to Nestrasil. Voslov out in front for Klee. It goes off his skate, and here comes Resendez the other way. Chip to the offensive zone. He'll chase. First one on it, Brecken Smith. Back up the far side. Smith at the half wall, up to the blue line, curls away from Golanek and goes down for Hextall. Kept in the corner. Now Lance battles for it. Hextall taken away by Golanek. DeHaro knocked away the chip for Nestrasil, and now Lawrence back in his own zone goes across to Lance. A pass intended for Golanek. He was getting off the ice. And icing waved off. Great effort by Tynan Lawrence. Caught the Phantoms asleep in their own zone. And the play continues. Here's Rapkin, side of the net, looking to pop out in front, though he's met by Rusinski. And now here comes DeHaro. Up the near side, through the neutral zone, push down the ice. Toll and Rusinski, near side corner. Good check by Jake Toll, but here's Rusinski. Up top for Osborne. Across the way, Jardine. Now Hanrahan takes the space, fires on. Turned aside by Godzip. Loose at the top of the blue paint. It's forced out to Deputy. He'll lead the rush across to Stewart to the offensive zone. Drew Stewart knocked down by Hanrahan. The two go flying into the wall together while the whistle is blown. And the faceoff will stay inside the Youngstown zone. 7:40 to go in this first period. Let's take a quick look around the USHL. The other two games, 0-0. Dubuque in Madison at the end of the first period. Sioux Falls and Waterloo has yet to get started. Ivan Rabkin, a native of Balakovo, Russia, joined the Lumberjacks in January. Mixed in some games in the KHL, the MHL, and the VHL. And since joining the Lumberjacks, 27 games in the regular season, 30 points, 19 goals, 11 assists. He's a point per game here in the postseason, 5 points on 2 goals and 3 assists through the first 5 games. Face-off in the Lumberjacks offensive zone, though it's taken out and sent down the ice. A great effort by Cal Houston, the defenseman. Now Sanderson looks to clear it. Far side, McLaughlin back to Sanderson on the wall. Right at the brand new advanced signs dasher board. It comes down for Veo, though. Xavier up the far side. Sobieski keeps it in. Finds Jardine. Forced out by Sanderson. Here comes Van Blaricom. He'll lead the rush. Fired on. Leapak makes his first save of the game. While Sanderson had Rusinski on his heels. Will all come together below the goal line. Face-off will be near side. Stefanik, he'll lean in. Spitznagel outside. Christ on the inside. Clares and Barry behind him. 7:07 to go in the first period. Messick across from Stefanik. Turns into a battle for possession, won by DeHaro, and now here comes Jamison Slice. Icing. Initiated, but waved off. Here's Clares to the near side. Christ. Off the near side boards. Picked back up by Slice. Met by Spitznagel. So here's DeHaro. D to D with Santilli. And across the red line, he sent it in. Near side, here's Cesar. Glad to see he's okay. While Slice goes across the way. Fired on to Gonziev. Michael Messick on the far side. A one-timer, but Shika moving right to left across his crease. Not only makes the save, but holds on to the rebound as well. .640 to go in the first. New unit on for the Jacks. Klee with Galanik and Nestrasil. Veo and McLaughlin. Messick, Slice, and now Banach in front of Osborne and Hanrahan. Messick across from Klee. The Phantoms, without Justin Kurtenite, earned a 1-game suspension for spearing at the end of the game on Sunday. One of the top face-off takers in the Phantom locker room. While here's Hanrahan in his own zone. D to D. Near side finds Osborne. Through the neutral zone, McLaughlin back off the near side. Here comes Galanik. Away from Osborne to the offensive end. Jack Galanik backdoor looking for McLaughlin. Now finds Klee. Fired on in front. We back the save. And now back to their way. Sent down the ice. Icing is called against the Phantoms. Lawrence, he leans in. Rapkin right behind him. Deputy on the inside hash mark. Toll and Dexheimer right behind him. Face off. One back by Messick, though. Hanrahan to the near side. Finds Slice. Fires across the way. Banach, nice hand-eye coordination. Knocks down the pass. Ivan Rapkin colliding with Messick. Arm, the official, goes up in the air. Ivan Rapkin's going to go to the box for interference. .5:56 to go in the first. 2-0 the Lumberjacks. They lead it. They go to the box first. They were 1 for 1 on the kill on Sunday. Let's take a look at the M-Live replay at the infraction. Yep, and you can see it. He went out of his way to initiate contact with the player that didn't have the puck. And so the first penalty kill unit of the night features David Klee and Vaslav Nestrasil with McLaughlin and Veo. Jardine, Slice, and Bannock, centered by Rusinski, the lone defenseman Luke Osborne. Far side circle of the Jack zone, just a hair under 6 minutes to go in the first. Face off won by Rusinski. Far side, here's Bannock, fired, but blocked by McLaughlin. Slice, up top Osborne, across for Bannock, holds, this time fires back door, they score! It was a shot pass to the back door for Ryan Rusinski. His third goal of the series, and it's a 1-goal game, a power play goal for the Phantoms. Take a look at the M-Live replay. That was a perfect shot pass by Bannock to find the stick of Ryan Rusinski. Watch, he thinks about shooting it, but watch Rusinski. He's got his feet together. He's displaying his stick blade perfectly, saying, hey, come find me back door. An easy backdoor tap-in, and it's a 2-1 hockey game. Sent into the offensive zone, Lawrence gives chase. Santilli, the first one on it, though, carries across the way. 5:30 to go in the first. Here come the Phantoms. DeHaro, the defenseman, leads the rush, fires high and wide. It's Conlon who gets it far side. Now Hess taken away by Lawrence. Played to the near side. Here comes Deputy, though it bounces over his stick, and it's kept in by Conlon. Now Stengrim, near side, half wall, met by Clares. Conlon, taken away by Lawrence, chipped up to Deputy, met by DeHaro. Here's Hess, keeping it in. Played off the back wall and across the way. Santilli, the first one on it, puts it below the goal line. Now Clares. To the blue line, here's Hess. Kept in, nice move. Stengrim the shot, off the glove of Godziev. Now Hess. Out to Deputy. He'll carry it out of the zone and lead the rush. Kicks out for Chris. 2-on-1. Here's Chris. Fires on just wide. Deputy colliding with Lepak. Gets a couple of Phantoms going after him. And the whistle's blown. The face-off. We'll see where they put it. It was out of the crease. Not a big collision. Take a look at the M-Live replay. Now the officials are going to talk things over. Miroslav Ayerets, Grant Hendrich, the two referees. They're going to say no penalty on anything. Face-off will stay in the neutral zone, far side. Stefanik, he leans in across from Smith. You know what? I don't mind it, to be honest with you. It's playoff hockey. Collisions are going to happen. Let the fellas play a little bit. Here's Houston behind the net. Van Blaricom far side. Taken by Smith. Back behind the cage, across to Houston. Ahead, Resendez chips it out of play to the seating bowl. There's Arthur Nobes sitting right there. Muskegon native. Says, hey, I'll let the little kids go get the puck. .4:16 to go in the first. 1-goal hockey game. It's 2-1 Lumberjacks. 0-0 is still the score around the league. Face-off far side of the neutral zone. Now in front of the Lumberjacks bench. Klee across from the goal scorer, Rusinski. Ryan Rusinski scored 2 goals back in Game 1 to kickstart a comeback effort. Now it's Osborne. He scored on Sunday, who carries it in. Far side corner, looks out for Rusinski, eventually has him on the wall. Caught up in the feet of McLaughlin, it goes behind the net near side, Veo. Xavier, back across the way. It's taken away by Hextall and played to the blue line before carried out by Nestrasil. Met by Jardine. It's played back towards the Muskegon end. Hextall sends it deep. Veo gives chase. He'll be the first one on it behind the net. Xavier to the near side finds Nestrasil off the wall. Kept in by Rusinski, but Vasilov forces it out. Big collision. Galanic running into Rusinski. Both guys stay up, but you could hear the thump from up here. Chip to the offensive zone. Stewart gives chase. Osborne, the first one on it. Stefanik joining Stewart. Hanrahan joining Osborne. Up the near side, Jardine to the neutral zone and sent back in. Osborne across the way, curls away from Sanderson and finds Hanrahan. Up the near side, Messick. Chip to the offensive zone. Here's Bauer-Berry. Off the backside of a Phantom, Clares looks to clear it, and he does. Sanderson now works on Santilli. It's back with Michael Messick, sent to the offensive zone. Godziev looked to clear it, but not kept it in. Shika makes the save from the bottom of the circle. Now here's Stefanik up the wall for Sanderson. He lets it trickle to the neutral zone, and DeHaro picks it up. Knocked away by Stewart. DeHaro recovers into the near side. Here's Banach. Chipped across the way. The first one on it, Carter Sanderson. Met by Messick. He goes back for Berry, and now up the near side, DeHaro. Taken away by Stefanik. Played off the glass through the neutral zone. It's Hextall on it. Finds Santilli and back with Banach. To the offensive zone. Kicks out for Messick. Fired across the way. Hextall, it went underneath of his stick. Back down Banach. Taken away by Ivan Ravkin. Flying the zone, David Deputy. It goes all the way down the ice. Icing waved off. In the near side corner, DeHaro met by Lawrence. Played for Hextall and regained by Ravkin. 2:05 to go in the period. Hextall intercepts the breakout pass, and now it's Osborne at the red line. Back for Hanrahan, near side Osborne. Smith, met by Dexheimer on his own entry. Centers for Hextall. It's back with Smith and fired back door. Here's Resendez. In the corner, met by Lawrence. Played to the near side. It's Barrett Dexheimer, the first one on it. Back across the way, Jake Toll, head up, looking at his options, chips it high in the air. Hextall gloves it down. Plays it back to the offensive end. Resendez met by Toll. Jake Toll off the near side wall. Nestrasil gives chase, though he's tripped up by Osborne. Arm the official stays down, much to the unhappiness of the Lumberjacks fans in attendance. Smith near side, couldn't catch the pass, though icing waved off, and now McLaughlin across the way. Here's Smith. Couldn't fire the shot. It's taken away by Galanic. He'll lead the rush. 2-on-2. Galanic far side. Holds and carries below the goal line. To the near side. A pass intended for McLaughlin. Picked up by Cesar. Colliding with Deputy. And now Messick poked off his stick. Deputy sends it in. Lepak behind his net. Leaves off for Sobieski. Galanic and Deputy joined by Klee. Houston far side ahead. Cesar sends it in. Veo up the far side. Icing waved off with 35 ticks to go in the frame. Houston leaves off for Sobieski. Behind his net to the near side, Houston. Through the neutral zone, Jardine chipped in. Bauer-Berry gives chase. Behind the net across the way, Spitznagel. Chipped to the neutral zone, met by Jardine. He takes possession back in his own zone. Near side, DeHaro. 11 seconds to go in the period. He sends it in. Bauer-Berry finds it behind his own net. Leaves off for Toll. Played near side. Here's DeHaro. Fired on. Loose in front. Godziev jumps on top with exactly 1 second to go in the first period. Owen Lepak will go to the Youngstown bench, and they'll get the extra attacker on. Jamison slides the extra attacker, joins Banach, Rusinski, and Jardine up front. Osborne and DeHaro on the back end. Stewart, Nestrasil, and Klee with Berry and Toll. Drew Stewart, the right-handed shot. He'll take the face-off across from Rusinski. Banach slides out. Osborne, the trigger position. Well, how long are we going to take to set up in the offensive zone face-off if for Youngstown? Now the Conversation starting with the official. We're ready to go. Rusinski across from Stewart. Just 1 second to go in the period. Face off one, fired on. Great block by Nestra still at the buzzer. And that sends us to our first intermission. 2-1, the Lumberjacks, they lead it. David Deputy and Chase Stefanik, the goal scorers. We'll talk about it when we come back for the first intermission report right here on Flow Hockey and the Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Looking to buy or sell a home? Team Marzo with Next Home Go 30 Realty can help. As a premier real estate team in the Mahoning Valley, we bring a unique and progressive approach to real estate using top listing technology, unique signage, and best practices in mobile and online marketing. Our customer-centric approach combines the best of technology with years of marketing expertise to provide an exceptional buying or selling experience. Call us today at 330-503-2250 so you can move with Marzo.
Passion, talent, development. NCAA hockey offers all that, and its players graduate at a 90% rate. Joe Pavelski.
Backhand scores! Wow, what a goal!
Johnny Gaudreau. And Torrey Krug were stars on campus before the NHL stage. Whether you are a fan or a player, nothing compares to college hockey. Visit collegehockeyinc.com and follow at College Hockey.
Champions of the college hockey world!
You hear it all the time. Why Youngstown State University? Here's why. Because when it comes to engineering, medicine, sports, business, and the skills you need to take your place in the world, we take a backseat to nobody. Because we're the kind of people who look out for each other. Because we care about you, your success, and our future together. We are Youngstown State University, and now you know why. Nina's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard, or call 234-254-8532.
So, are you enjoying our station? Well, now you can take us along on your mobile device wherever you go.
Wow!
The free Live 365 app is available for both Apple and Android devices.
That sounds like fun. I'll give it a try.
Just go to the Apple app or Google Play Store and download it today.
You're listening to WRDP, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
I think the Reading Caravan started in 2010 when the USHL team turned over. It's possible that it, in a different format, was taking place, because I know that I also had Muskegon Fury players come into my elementary school and read to me. So I think the thought has been around for an incredibly long period of time, right? It's good marketing for the team to get the players in front, but it's good for the students because they're promoting reading, and they're local celebrities to these kids.
Well, good afternoon, and just a little after 12 noon, so I can say good afternoon. My name's Jay Vanderhorny. I'm here with the Muskegon Lumberjacks Charitable Foundation, and we are, we're here. You're part of a reading caravan, and if you meet your reading goals, you receive a prize or reward every 3 months.
Jay Vanderhorny is the most passionate person about the charitable foundation that I can't imagine anybody else being in the position that he is.
What grade is this? Third. You should not have to have teachers telling you to take your homework home and do it.
His title on paper is the treasurer, but he is the director. I mean, he's the reason why the things happen. He coordinates all of the school visits. He coordinates all of the prizes. He does the taxes. I don't want to dismiss the fact that there are other people that are helping this mission, but this program would look a whole lot different if Jay Vanderhorny wasn't at the helm, making sure that kids were provided the opportunity to learn how to read. The Muskegon Lumberjacks are defined by 3 pillars, and our 3 pillars are community, culture, and development. I think the Reading Caravan and our partnership with the Muskegon Lumberjacks Charitable Foundation truthfully hits all 3. Not only are these players being exposed to the community by going into these schools, in addition, they're exposed to a different culture. Not only do the students get to meet people from, if it's a different country, if it's a different state, it's different. But our hockey players that are maybe not from this general area are seeing what Michigan and specifically Muskegon schools are like. It's promoting community on both aspects, but it's also promoting the culture. I think what's incredibly important to not only Jay Vanderhorny and to the Muskegon Lumberjacks, but really spearheaded by Coach Parker Burgess, is that I think he does a really great job of making sure that anybody who wants the ability to go into these schools and meet these kids and read to them has it, but also helping them reach outside of the box. It's about giving back, right? So that community aspect. Lastly, it's the development. This is something that they're going to be doing at every level of their hockey playing career, because everybody in this industry finds value in making sure that we're giving back to our local communities. So we're preparing them to be able to do that on a larger scale. And by the way, I think that they have a really great time doing it. I think that it makes a really big difference to the players. And I think if you were to ask some of our alumni what their favorite part about being a Muskegon Lumberjack was, that the Charitable Foundation would be a big part of those answers.
6th Street. Oh, you have British? Nice, guys. 23.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
Professional, fast, highly knowledgeable, easy to work with. These are real reviews by customers of Sandrock Concrete. For all your concrete block, brick, stone, stonework, and excavating needs, call Jerry Sandrock. For your free estimate at 330-506-0013. Sandrock Concrete is fully insured and ready to make your ideas a reality. Sandrock Concrete is a proud supporter and sponsor of Mahoning Valley High School football on Western Reserve Radio.
This is Mario Andretti. You know me as a race car driver, but I'm also a Meals on Wheels volunteer. I've raced against the sport's biggest personalities, but I've never met more vibrant, amazing people than the seniors served by Meals on Wheels. You can make a difference by dropping off a hot meal and saying a quick hello. So, America, let's do lunch. Volunteer your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
This message brought to you by Meals on Wheels America and the Ad Council.
People been saying to your friend, get a different face, and posting on their feed, they're super ugly. The things they say to them online are cruel and they're not true. So tell your friend, I'll stand up for you. Don't worry, I know what to do.
Know someone being bullied online? You can be a witness and make a difference by letting the world know it isn't cool and by letting your friend know you care. Learn more at eyewitnessbullying.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council.
Hope you enjoyed your meal. And I just want to say, he's lucky to have a brother like you.
Lucky? Caring for my brother is far from easy. But he's a part of me, like my arms and legs, so I'll be his. No time for tired. Nothing can disable this love. He needs me, but I'm the lucky one, even though I need help now and then.
If you're caring for a loved one, visit aarp.org/caregiving for care guides and community support for your strength. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
Someone's got to set the tone out there, boys. Someone's got to set it.
The station that sets the tone for Youngstown Phantoms hockey is Western Reserve Radio. WRTV, The Scourge.
I wanted to go to a spot that had an opportunity to develop me. It was my decision or my request to get traded out of there. They treated me really well, and they honored it. I think Muskegon was the top of my list that I was hoping to go to. Obviously, I don't get to decide, but...
Oh, you're both 9? Yeah?
I just knew that I wanted to come here because I knew that's probably where I'm going to end up developing the most.
What's wrong? You hurt your elbow? Oh, no, are you all right?
Welcome back into Flow Hockey, Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces. Ezra Janello along with you, voice of the Lumberjacks. You're also tuning in from the Kensington Golf Simulators, the Watch Party in Youngstown, as well as on Western Reserve Radio. As you take a look at the highlights from that first period, we'll talk about them. 23 seconds in, how about this? David Deputy fired on, first shot of the game, first goal of the game, his fifth of the postseason, assisted by Danny Clares and Tynan Lawrence. Teddy Spitznagel, he was involved in the second goal. Scored by Chase Stefanik. David Deputy, his second point. Second assist of the playoffs. Led a 2-on-1 rush. A nice move. Fired a pass back door. Stefanik, easy backdoor tap in. 7:38 mark 2-0, the Lumberjacks, they lead. But then at the 14-16 mark, after, of course, some physical hockey like you see there, Ryan Rusinski cut the deficit in half. His third goal of the postseason, assisted by Adam Bannock and Luke Osborne, a power play goal for the Phantoms. There you see David Deputy's assist backdoor to Stefanik. 2-1 the Lumberjacks, they lead it. Shots in that first period, 11-4 in favor of the Phantoms. Shika Gadziev, 10 saves on 11 shots. Owen Lepak, 2 saves on 4 shots. 1 penalty in that first period. It was against the Lumberjacks. The Phantoms, they went 1-for-1 on the advantage. Let's take a look around the out-of-town scoreboard. Some scores that don't look like 0-0. Dubuque in Madison, looking to punch their ticket to the conference finals. Michael Barron opened the scoring, $1:47 into the second period. Colin Frank added another one about 40 seconds later. Dubuque, they lead 2-0 in Madison in Game 4. Sioux Falls looking to stay alive in Waterloo. Joey McGraw, Joseph, I love that guy. I got to work with Joey back in the North American League with the Northeast Generals. He started the season in Fargo, went back down to the NA, and looking to make a push for the postseason. Sioux Falls goes and they pick up Joey. He finds the back of the net, 12:40 mark of the first period. I love that. They also lead the shots 14-4. Don't go anywhere. There you see Shika Gadziev. He'll lead the fellas back on the ice. Second period comes up real quick when we come back here on Flow Hockey and the Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Looking to buy or sell a home? Team Marzo with Next Home Go 30 Realty can help. As a premier real estate team in the Mahoning Valley, we bring a unique and progressive approach to real estate using top listing technology, unique signage, and best practices in mobile and online marketing. Our customer-centric approach combines the best of technology with years of marketing expertise to provide an exceptional buying or selling experience. Call us today at 330-503-2250 so you can move with Marzo.
Youngstown, Warren, and Salem Sports Talk is on the iMedia One Network, Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast.
And Slice up front with Messick, Osborne, and Hanrahan all in front of Owen Lepak. Period number 2 of Game 3 of the 2025 Eastern Conference semifinals. It kicks off with a face-off at center ice between Tynan Lawrence and Michael Messick. 20 minutes gone, 40 minutes to go. The middle stanza officially underway. Face-off won by Youngstown and sent in. Here's Gadziev at the La Colombe and ice logo behind the net. To the near side corner, McLaughlin battles for it. Up to the blue line, Hanrahan keeps it in. Down low for Messick. Net by McLaughlin, the former Phantom, and now Deputy clears the zone for Veilleux. Near side, Lawrence, 3-on-2. Lawrence back to Veilleux. Bannock, fresh on the ice, got in the way of it. Kept in by Rabkin. Middle of the blue line, Lawrence. It's forced out by Bannock, giving chase onto McLaughlin in the Muskegon zone. Lawrence looks to clear it. Bouncing puck, picked up by Deputy away from his former teammate. Deputy chips in, slides, gives him the business on his way off the ice. Hanrahan takes a bump from Rabkin, slides up the near side, centers for Messick, and now across the way, here comes Osborne, taken away by his number 6 Clares and regained. To the near side corner, Bannock turns and fires, but it's picked up by Clares before Rusinski gets it near side. Back off for Bannock. Up top, DeHaro walks the blue line and down low finds Santilli. Now Rusinski works up the far side and curls down low away from Galanik. Still with it, Ryan Rusinski. A couple of Gretzky curls on the outside corner. Now makes one behind the net, but he's met by Bauer Berry. Santilli down low for Jardine. And against the wall by Clares. The two go down to the ice with each other while Barry sends it down the ice. Icing is called against the Lumberjacks. Our first stoppage of the second period comes a buck 32 into it. Vaslav Nestrasil has worked his way up to a first-round projection for the 2025 NHL Draft, end of June in Los Angeles. Big body, 6'5", 187, at 42 points in the regular season. Has added 4 here in the postseason. Here's Colson Hanrahan in his own zone. Jacks execute a line change with icing waved off. They get new defenseman on. McLaughlin now joined by Barry. Here's Rusinski up the near side. Over the blue line to the offensive end. Fired and blockered aside by Godziev. Picked up by Jardine. Behind the net, Bauer Barry up the far side and out of play. Looked like it went off the stick of a Phantom. They'll say it went straight out of the zone and out of play. And so the Lumberjacks, they can't change for the second straight faceoff. Faceoff will be on the far side of the Lumberjack zone. Smith across from Stefanik. Won by Brecken Smith. Here's Jack Hextall sent down the wall. Barry meets it far side. He's pressured by Sobieski, and it's back with Smith. Far side. Battle continues up towards the blue line. Jack Christ looks to clear it, and he does so down the ice. Far enough for Jack Atlantic to get off, not far enough for an icing. Here's Kazimir Sobieski up the near side, intercepted by McLaughlin, and across the way, here's Christ. Dropped for Stefanik and played behind the net. Teddy Spitznagel now. Up for McLaughlin. At the blue line, forced down the ice by Resendez. Race for possession. Won by Shika Godziev. He clears the zone. Now Sobieski goes across the way. Hextall picks it up and enters the offensive end. Fired off the back wall. It's regained by McLaughlin. Colliding with Smith. It comes to Spitznagel. And he backhand saucer passes it all the way down the ice. Houston picks it up in his own zone. Sobieski near side. Takes a collision from Spitznagel. It goes down the ice for McLaughlin to receive across from Hess. Jakob Hess knocked down. Puck goes the way of Lawrence. And now Deputy pokes it to the blue line. Stengrim keeps it in. Two Phantoms collide. DeHaro and Conlon. Broken stick on the breakout pass. Stengrim fires. Blockered aside by Godziev. Stengrim back behind the net. At the Red Bank General's advertisement, it's taken by Toll. D to D with McLaughlin. Chipped high in the air. Bouncing. It's corralled by DeHaro. Near side, Santilli. Sent to the offensive zone. Deputy back to receive it. Met by Hess in the corner. Across the way, Ivan Rapkin takes a bump. It's kept in by Conlon. Bounces over to DeHaro's stick. In the neutral zone, Conlon knocked away by Deputy. But back in comes Hess. Rapkin the first one on it. Near side of his own zone. Up the wall for Toll. At the blue line. Fired wide of the cage by Sobieski. And now Lawrence works on DeHaro. Taken back by Cesar. Dropped off for DeHaro. To the near side, it's Santilli. Ahead for Messick. Here's Barrett Dexheimer. Far side to the near side. Popped out in front. Deflected well by Toll. And Rapkin clears it to the blue line. It's kept in by Cesar. Fired on to Godziev. And he holds on for the stoppage. 15:43 to go in the middle stanza. Well, if the current scores hold with the Lumberjacks and Dubuque both leading, Dubuque now leads 3-1. Matthew Desiderio made it 3-0. Mason Moe followed up for Madison. The Eastern Conference Final would start this Friday in Dubuque, 7:05 p.m. Central Time. Friday, Saturday at Dubuque, Tuesday, Wednesday in Muskegon. Here's Reese Lance. To the far side, MVB. Chip down the ice. Osborne, the first one on it in his own zone. Luke Osborne looking for Banach. Eventually finds him, and now here comes Messick. Far side, chips away from Lance, but Bayo, the first one on it. Keeps it far side, looking for Van Blaricom. Chip down the ice. Stewart gives chase on to Banach. Two speedsters. Albanach goes D to D with Hanrahan. Now across the way, here comes Osborne back in. Down the back of the net on Sunday. Xavier Veo, he also found the back of the net in this series, but it's chipped out of play. And again, the Jacks, they can't change. Luke Osborne up for the USHL's Defenseman of the Year award, 41 points in 55 games this season. Veo, an NHL drafted defenseman as well, 41 points in 61 games. Earned himself a 1-game suspension, was on his way to his second consecutive Ironman season. That means he would have played in 62 regular season games 2 consecutive years. Here's Rusinski, played out in front. It comes near side wall for Houston. Back up top, Jardine. Fired on, blocked in traffic by Stewart. He looks like he feels it. He makes his way back to the Lumberjacks bench. Sobieski, meanwhile, sends in off the stick of Cesar. Behind the net, Jardine popped out in front looking for Rusinski. He couldn't catch it. Now here comes David Kleep. Over the red line, now the Blues still with it. Protecting on the outside. Wraps it around across the way for Nestrasil. Up to the blue line, Dexheimer steps into a shot. Great block by Rusinski, but here's Galenic. Near side half wall. Up top for Bowerberry. His shot blocked by Cesar. It bounces behind the net where it's picked up by Rusinski. Looking to clear the zone. He goes up the near side, and Dexheimer back to receive it in his own zone. By the way, the Lumberjacks defenseman Danny Clares, he had the Ironman season with 62 games played. Dexheimer looks to get it up the ice, but it goes back for Bowerberry. Committed to St. Thomas, Bowerberry drafted by Edmonton on the near side, ahead, icing called against the Lumberjacks as it went through a sea of bodies, and icing called against the Lumberjacks. Evan Jardine had the Ironman season for Youngstown. Both Cal Houston and Landon Resendez were 1 game off, and something you don't see very often, Jamison Slies, despite there only being 62 games in the USHL season, because of the timing of his trade from Omaha, appeared in 63 games. Here's Stefanik, the offensive zone. The Jacks finish a line change. Banach looks to clear it. Gets it away from his youth hockey teammate, Vaslav Nestrasil, who sends it right back in. Here's Colson Hanrahan. Across for Osborne. Feet moving, sends it down the ice. Now icing called against Youngstown. Vaslav Nestrasil, Adam Banach, a couple of guys out of Czechia who played together when they were kids. Vaslav actually talked in an interview about his favorite moment as a hockey player, and it was scoring a game-winning goal at the Quebec Pee Wee Invitational. And the assist on that goal came from Adam Banach. We saw in the first period at his vision and his ability to find teammates. Well, it comes back up the middle of the ice. Here's Stefanik. The offensive zone he goes. Chase Stefanik kicks out for Veo. Army officials up in the air. Interference is the call. And it's Colson Hanrahan who's going to the box. No, it's Teddy Spitznagel. The Lumberjacks will go shorthanded with 13:09 to go in the second period. We go to immediate timeout. You're watching the 2025 Clark Cup playoffs right here on Flow Hockey and the Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces.
Orthopedic Associates of Muskegon is the largest orthopedic practice on the lakeshore. Our fellowship-trained sports medicine specialists will help you choose the best treatment for your injury. Whether that's a non-surgical approach like physical therapy, bracing, or pain management, or the latest surgical technique, you can be the active, healthy person you were meant to be. Call us today to make an appointment, or make an appointment online at oamkg.com.
Welcome back into Flow Hockey, Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces. Ezra Janello along with you. Friendly reminder that this Muskegon Lumberjacks broadcast is presented by Auto Owners Insurance. For over 100 years, Auto Owners has been dedicated to the independent agency system. Get local support from somebody you know. Whether it's home, auto, life, or business, ask your independent agent if Auto Owners Insurance makes sense for you. That's what I get for trying to recite an ad read while sending a text message to Lumberjacks President Andrea Rose. Here's Osborne on the power play, off for Bannock, fired into the glove of Godziev. He holds on. So Teddy Spitznagel, a 2-minute minor for interference. Youngstown 1 for 1 on the power play so far. They get their second chance of the game. Osborne on with Slice, Bannock, Jardine, and Rusinski. Lawrence, he leans in. He's got Stefanik on the inside, Barry and Toll behind him. Bauer Barry lines up on the outside hash mark right next to Adam Bannock. Face-off won by Lawrence. Toll off the glass down the ice, giving hard chase. Tynan Lawrence on to Lepak. Played up the far side. Here Slides off the wall away from Stefanik. No one home. Here's Tynan Lawrence for it. Though Rusinski wins possession, he finds Jardine. The offensive zone, up to the blue line. Here's Osborne. Fired on. Nice save. Rebound loose. Cleared down the ice by Toll. The Lumberjacks, they changed 3 of 4. Toll replaced by Dexheimer. Stefanik and Lawrence replaced by Nestrasil and Cleve. Here comes Bannock. Nestrasil all over him. Takes possession, but it's kept in by Osborne. Now to the far side. Here's Sly. Steps into one. Blockered aside by Godziev. Dexheimer now. He'll lead the rush out of the zone and chip it down the ice. Barry and Nestrasil off. Veo and Lawrence back on. A minute gone. A minute left on the power play. Osborne up the near side. Jardine and now Cesar. The offensive zone. Poked away by Lawrence. Now low, it's Bannock. To the far side. Left off for Jardine. Near side wall, Cesar. Up top, Osborne. Back to Cesar near side. Down for Bannock. He carries up. Adam Bannock. Up top, Osborne. Walks the blue line. Fired on. Blocked by Clee. Rebound chance. Jardine kicked aside. Another one. Jardine couldn't pull the trigger. David Clee battles for it. It stays at the top of the blue paint. In the feet of Cesar. And David Clee gets it down the ice. A great effort by the Lumberjacks penalty killers after a great save by Shika Godziev. Not to panic and get the puck out of danger. 10 seconds to go on Spitznagel's penalty. Here's Clares. Sends it back down the ice, and that'll do it for the Youngstown power play. Out of the box, Spitznagel. On his horse, goes across the ice. He's replaced by Rapkin, joining Stefanik and Galanik. But the faceoff will come back to the neutral zone. The puck went out of play. Finn McLaughlin, acquired by the Lumberjacks during this season in hopes of making a deep playoff run. He won the Clark Cup Championship last season with Fargo after being traded to the Force at the deadline from Youngstown. Rapkin near side, across from Smith, wins it backwards, and now McLaughlin D to D with Clares. To the near side, Galanik off his skate down the ice. Santilli, the first one on it, behind his own net. To the far side, DeHaro. To the near side, Smith. Gains speed to the neutral zone to the offensive end. Fires wide at Godziev. DeHaro keeps it in. Far side, down to the corner. It's Jakob Hess now. Back up the wall, taken by Galanik. 3-on-2, the Jacks clear the zone. Galanik cuts towards the middle. Now on the near side, tapped ahead by Rapkin. Jakob Hess takes it back. Across finds DeHaro. Over the red line, he sends it in. Godziev behind the net to Danny Clare's far side. Ahead, looking for Deputy. Couldn't get it to go, and so icing called against the Lumberjacks with 10:13 to go in the second period. Another look around the USHL. Dubuque, they now lead it 4-1 over top of Madison. Cole Spicer finding the back of the net. The Bruins draft pick. While Sioux Falls, they make it 2-0. The defenseman Bryce Ingles in the final minute of the first period gives the Stampede a 2-goal lead. They're in their first intermission. 4:13 to go in the second in Madison. 10-12 here in Muskegon. Face-off won by the Jacks, sent down the ice. Icing waved off as it goes on to Lepak. Jacks, they execute a line change. Van Blaricom, Stewart, and Sanderson in front of Barry and McLaughlin. Bauer Barry behind the net to the near side. McLaughlin centers for Stewart. Textbook breakout by the Lumberjacks. Sanderson gets it to the far side corner for Van Blaricom. Dropped off for Stewart. Up the far side wall. Fresh on the ice. Lance fires. Blocked in traffic by Messick. Now Stewart. Joined by MBB far side. Taken away by Houston. Chipped off the near side glass. Into the neutral zone. Sanderson gets it back in. Giving chase Houston and Van Blaricom. MBB pinned against the wall. Stewart comes in. Finds possession, but it's back in between the feet of Matthew Van Blaricom. Santilli pushing Stewart against the wall, and it comes out of the zone. Shading over, Jake Toll gets it back down the ice. Sobieski decides not to play it, and icing is called against the Lumberjacks with 9:11 to go in the second period. Youngstown has the momentum. They lead the shots 16-4. The Lumberjacks have yet to get one on net in the second period. Face off back in the Muskegon zone. Van Blaricom on with Lawrence and Gherkin. Lance and Toll. It's Rusinski, Jardine, and Cesar with Osborne and Hanrahan. Lawrence across from Rusinski. Won by Rusinski. Here's Osborne down the near side. Curls up the wall and sends it across the way. The first one on it, Jardine, met by Lance. It's Cesar who battles across from Van Blaricom. It goes up top. Here's Hanrahan. Back to Cesar and gets it back. Hanrahan near side. One-timer Osborne kicked away. Now Gherkin battles for it. Up top it goes to Osborne and across the way Hanrahan. Back door knocked away by Toll. And now here comes Lawrence the other way. At the red line, takes a whack from Osborne, who takes possession. Now Hanrahan leaves off for Luke Osborne. And he makes his way up the far side, poked away by Nestrasil. Vaslov leaves off for Lawrence. Jardine takes it back, and now Cesar to the near side, finds Colson Hanrahan. The offensive zone, fired into the glove of Godziev. Hanrahan took down Dexheimer. Cesar, a whack at Godziev. Listens to Bauer Barry, and now he's going to go to the box for the slash. So for the first time tonight, the Lumberjacks will go on a Mackenzie Price power play. 8:23 to go in the second period. A chance to regain their 2-goal lead. You're watching the 2025 Clark Cup playoffs here on Flow Hockey and the Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces. Welcome back into Flow Hockey, Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces. Well, the score bug made its way to say power play for 2 minutes before we came back from a commercial break. That's because the Jacks are on the Mackenzie Price Insurance power play for the first time tonight. They were 3 for 4, really 3 for 3 on Sunday. A late game power play. They should put the 2 seconds back up on the clock, and they will. Clee with Lawrence, Deputy, McLaughlin, and Rapkin for sure. The power play, it's been fueled this season by the Chobani and La Colombe protein shakes and iced coffees that we have here in the facility. A great partner of the Lumberjacks. McLaughlin, Rapkin leaves the security of the La Colombe advertisement. But now it's David Deputy within his own zone. Very aggressive forecheck while shorthanded by Rusinski. Lawrence takes advantage, enters the offensive zone. Here's Deputy. Up top, McLaughlin, middle of the blue line. Back to the near side, Deputy. He had one of the power play goals on Sunday. Across to Rapkin. Near side, Lawrence fired on. Blocker to side by Lepak. That's the Lumberjacks' first shot of the period. It came 12 and change into the frame. Battle ensues behind the net. Rapkin and Klee joined by Deputy, taking a couple of whacks from Santilli, though it comes out with Hess. He's met quickly by Deputy. Bidding against the wall now in the corner. Up the wall, here's McLaughlin. Walks the blue line across. Rapkin one-timer blocked by DeHaro. He gets it back. Ivan Rapkin down low. Klee looks backdoor. Forces on net. Shut down by Lepak. It comes back to Lawrence. Up top, McLaughlin. 50 seconds to go on the power play. Lawrence far side. Up top, Rapkin. Back to Lawrence. One-timer. Couldn't get it to go. McLaughlin near side. Works up top. Curls. Holds. Deputy in front. Klee fires the shot. Goes wide of the cage. Rapkin keeps it in. Ivan Rapkin. Down low, Lawrence. 30 seconds to go on the Mackenzie Price power play. Lawrence. Near side, Deputy. Fired on, he scores! David Deputy. Second of the game. The Lumberjacks, they lead it 3-1. His third point in a 3-1 hockey game. David Deputy picked short side high. Put it right past the ear of Owen Lepak. And his hot streak continues. Take a look at the live replay. Lawrence, he sent it down to Deputy. Short side high, right over the ear of Lepak. Second of the game. Sixth of the postseason. His 8th point here in game number 6 of the Clark Cup playoffs. Golanek off the draw finds Nestrasil, and it's sent in. The Jacks 1-for-1 on the Auto Owners Insurance power play tonight. Make that the Mackenzie Price Insurance power play. Here comes Slyslow. Knocked away by Barry, and now Nestrasil centers. Intended for Golanek, who eventually gets it in the neutral zone. He goes backwards for Clares. Down the ice, Stefanik to the offensive zone. Taken by Sobieski. Up the near side, across the way. A pass intended for Slies. Out of his reach, and icing is called against Youngstown. Deputy had 3 points on Sunday night. 2 goals and an assist. And he's reached that total just over halfway through the contest here on Tuesday. Committed to Miami of Ohio. This is another guy the Lumberjacks traded for with hopes of making a deep playoff run. Boy, has he helped them here in the playoffs. Stewart leans in. Far side circle across from Messick. We're going to do it again, though Michael Messick is excused out. They're just given a warning. He'll stay in. Across from Stewart. Veilleux and McLaughlin on the back end for the Lumberjacks. One by Messick down to the corner. Sobieski met by Stewart. Centers for Slies, and he carries out of the zone. Kicks out for Messick. To the offensive zone he goes. Chips and chases behind the net. He's met by Veilleux. Xavier off for McLaughlin. Up the far side, off the wall, giving chase. Christ. The first one on it, though, Cal Houston. Taken away by McLaughlin, sent right back in. Sobieski and Stewart come together. Now Christ sends it off the body of Sobieski. It's back with Adam Banach. And now up the near side, Banach, heavy check by Teddy Spitznagel. He sends it down the ice, and icing's called against Youngstown. .5:33 to go in the second period. The Lumberjacks, their 4th shot of this second period, finds the back of the net. Now Youngstown trying to make a line change on the kill, but the officials, they get the right guys back on. Lawrence, he's on for the Jacks with Deputy and Rapkin, Lance and Toll, 3 of the 4 forwards on the ice during the Mackenzie Price power play. Lawrence leans in. He's across from Michael Messick. Rapkin right behind him. Lance in the outside trigger position. Deputy inside hash mark, and Toll middle of the blue line. One back by Lawrence. Here's Rapkin across the Toll. One-timer. Trickles just wide of the cage off the armpit of Lepak, who's forced to make another save on Rapkin. Now Santilli near side. Kept in by Ivan down the wall. Lawrence Curls the top of the circle. Fires a shot. Blocker save. Diving chance by Rapkin. But it goes to the corner. Now chipped down the ice for Toll to receive in his own zone. Youngstown executes a line change while Toll quickly back up to Rapkin. The Jacks are back to the offensive end. Ivan Rapkin lays a check onto Resendez. The puck goes to Jack Hextall. Near side, Santilli. Over the red line, now the blue. Blockered away by Godziev to the far side wall. Resendez forced out by Galanic. Nice swipe by DeHaro. Gets it away from the Lumberjacks alternate captain. And it's back with Shika Godziev behind his own net. Holds on away from Resendez and finds Deputy. Now Lance to the blue line. It's carried back in by Hanrahan and offside. 4.5 to go in the second period. 3-1. The Lumberjacks, they lead it. Here on Flow Hockey, Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces. The faceoff, far side of the neutral zone. Hextall, Resendez, and Smith in front of Hanrahan and Osborne. It's Klee with Gherkin and Van Blaricom in front of Barry and Clares for Muskegon. Klee across from Smith. And we'll do it again. Smith, he's excused out. Resendez takes his place. It'll rather be Jack Hextall who leans in. One back by Klee. Clares in his own zone, pressured by Smith. Goes to the near side for Gherkin. Now Bauer-Berry looks to clear it, though it's sent back in by Resendez. Clares gets it far side corner. Chips it high in the air, bouncing onto Osborne. Here comes Van Blaricom to the offensive zone. Kicks out for Gherkin and cycled down low. Osborne, the first one on it, puts the brakes on away from Van Blaricom. Luke Osborne up the far side. Now Hextall sends it in. Bauer-Berry. Near side, Gherkin. Carries out of the zone, across the way, Van Blaricom kicks it to the offensive end. Hanrahan and MVB collide. Heavy collision in the corner. While it's Hextall who takes possession, he collides with Cleat. Now Resendez blows an edge. Osborne, a good recovery, but it goes straight to the Youngstown bench, and so the faceoff will stay in the neutral zone. 3:43 to go in the second period. Veilleux and McLaughlin behind Stewart, Lawrence and Nestrasil. It's Stengrim with Hess and Cesar, Santilli and DeHaro. Lawrence leans in. Hess across from him. And it's won by Muskegon. Fired on Nestrasil into the glove of Lepak, who holds on. On the near side it comes. Lawrence and Hess again. Stewart outside, Nestrasil inside. 3:38 to go in the period. One by Hess. Here's Smith. Make it Stengrim. Couldn't get the clearing attempt to go farther than the Jacks bench. Veilleux sends it back in. Now DeHaro across the way. Intercepted by Veilleux. He'll lead the rush. The offensive zone. Xavier. Now Lawrence. Look back door. Great play by DeHaro to shut it down. McLaughlin keeps it in. Lepak makes the save. And now DeHaro across for Santilli. Centered for Jakob Hess to the near side. Here's Cesar. Met by McLaughlin. And now here comes Lawrence. Chip to the offensive zone. Lawrence. Met by Santilli. Now it's DeHaro away from Nestrasil. On the near side, down the middle of the ice, all the way down it goes. Icing called against the Phantoms. 2:56 to go in this second period. 3-1 the Lumberjacks, they lead it. David Deputy, 2 goals and an assist. Now has 6 points in his last 2 games. He's on with Galanic and Spitznagel. Toll and Dexheimer. Galanic, he'll take the draw across from Jakob Hess. Near side of the Youngstown zone. One back by the Phantoms. Santilli ahead for Stengrim. Carried to the near side into the neutral zone and chipped down the ice. This should be icing again, and it is. So Cesar and DeHaro will have to stay on. Houston will have to get back off. Face-off comes back to the near side. Again, it's Jakob Hess who leans in. He's across from Jack Golanek for the second straight face-off. Deputy in the outside trigger position. Takes a step towards the hash marks and picks up possession. But it goes in the neutral zone, and Toll sends it right back in. DeHaro behind the net for Santilli. Up the near side. Escapes the grasp of Jake Toll, and all the way down it goes. No icing this time. 5-player line change for Youngstown. Spitznagel sends it in, but here's Kazimir Sobieski. The near side finds Banach. Poked away by Dexheimer. Now Spitznagel across the way. Sobieski in the way of it, and now it's McLaughlin on the near side. Now Spitznagel to the offensive zone. Kicks out for Golanek. Looking for Deputy. It's intercepted by Rusinski. Here's Ryan Rusinski as the lone phantom goal to this point, taken away by Deputy. Sobieski regains possession, though a pass for Houston goes off the heel of his stick and back to the near side corner. Taken away by Stefanik across the way. Pops behind the net to the near side. Backhanded, backdoor, they score! Ivan Rapkin finishes off a backdoor pass from Chase Stefanik, and the Lumberjacks, they make it 4-1 with 1:44 to go in the second period. Chase Stefanik, he finished off a backdoor pass in the first period. He says, hold on, let me give you one. Rapkin, far side, a beautiful backhand backdoor pass from Stefanik. Ivan Rapkin right there to finish it off. His third goal in the Clark Cup playoffs. And Leback had no opportunity to make the save. The Lumberjacks, they make it 4-1 on just 11 shots on net. The center ice draw goes Muskegon's way as well. It's sent down by Vaslav Nestrasil, the first one on it. Hanrahan met by Lawrence. And now Cesar. To the near side, Osborne. Over the red line, blows a tire. It's regained by McLaughlin. Here's Messick. Tried poking it out of the zone was David Klee, but it's back down low with Cesar. Back out, it goes up top. A pass intended for Hanrahan all the way down the ice. Now it's Osborne. Chip down the ice. Here comes Hextall, met by Veo. And now far side, here's Osborne. Godziev holds on. 55 seconds to go in the period. And the faceoff will stay in the Muskegon zone. Smith on with Hextall and Resendez. DeHaro and Santilli. Stewart leans in. Barry, Stefanik, and Rapkin all on the inside. Toll, the lone man on the far side of the ice. He's on the hash mark. It's one back by Stewart. Toll wraps it around near side. Here's Rapkin. Looks to clear the zone and does. Stefanik was knocked down at center ice, but wasn't hard enough for icing, so Hextall finds Santilli. Away from Rapkin to the near side. Resendez met by Bauer Berry and poked away, but here's Hextall colliding with Toll. Behind the net, Resendez. 34 seconds to go in the period. Berry, far side, looking for Stefanik. It comes out to Rapkin. Now here comes Chase. A 2-point night for the California native, while Drew Stewart enters the offensive zone. Looks off for Rapkin, but it's taken away by DeHaro. And on the near side, here's Jack Hextall. The offensive zone. Hextall blows an edge. Is taken by Rapkin. Off the glass, down the ice. Here comes Deputy. 2-on-1 rush. Deputy holds. Nice move. Great poke check by Lepak. Gets it away from him. The other way, here comes Smith. Time expires, though. And the Lumberjacks, they carry a 4-1 lead to the second intermission. We'll talk about it when we come back here on Flow Hockey and the Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Looking to buy or sell a home? Team Marzo with Next Home Go 30 Realty can help. As a premier real estate team in the Mahoning Valley, we bring a unique and progressive approach to real estate using top listing technology, unique signage, and best practices in mobile and online marketing. Our customer-centric approach combines the best of technology with years of marketing expertise to provide an exceptional buying or selling experience. Call us today at 330-503-2250 so you can move with Marzo.
Passion, talent, development. NCAA hockey offers all that, and its players graduate at a 90% rate. Joe Pavelski.
Backhand scores! Wow, what a goal!
Johnny Gaudreau. And Torrey Krug were stars on campus before the NHL stage. Whether you are a fan or a player, nothing compares to college hockey. Visit collegehockeyinc.com and follow at College Hockey.
Champions of the college hockey world!
Someone's got to set the tone out there, boys. Someone's got to. Someone's got to set the tone out there, boys. Someone's got to set it.
The station that sets the tone for Youngstown Phantoms hockey is Western Reserve Radio. WRTB, The Scourge.
Located in Applewood Estates in Boardman Township, the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club offers a pleasant family environment. Choose a membership that meets your needs and enjoy a relaxing venue that includes not only swimming for the family, but also youth activities such as competitive swimming, tennis, and more. Enjoy the friendly atmosphere all summer long with the staff and members of the Applewood Swim and Tennis Club. For more information, go to applewoodswimandtennis.com or call 330-953-2833.
So, are you enjoying our station? Well, Now you can take us along on your mobile device wherever you go.
Wow!
The free Live 365 app is available for both Apple and Android devices.
That sounds like fun. I'll give it a try.
Just go to the Apple app or Google Play Store and download it today.
You're listening to WRDB, Western Reserve Digital Broadcasting, Youngstown, Warren, Salem, and around the world.
They always go right to the goals.
The stations that always keep you in the zone. I love it.
It's awesome.
Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast, Youngstown, Ohio.
We'll just bring back the ones that aren't in the lineup. And I'll go grab socks right now. I'll meet you in the locker room then. Yep. I'll start humming these. Hello, this is Doug. Ask Woody. Ask Woody. Oh, buddy, I've been here since 8:30. I'm actively doing steel. Sebs and I are humming. Woody's in my sharpening room right now. Like, oh, the beauty? Yeah, the beauty. It's Woody. Oh, the beauty. Yeah, what's the one that we wanted the other day that we didn't get? Cali Scram? Cali Scram. Yeah, those are good. Sound good? Yeah. Beautiful. I have no idea. Honestly, do we really?
Is this piece going to stay though or no?
How about you put it on? The lighter salt. I don't even think that'll do anything. That's it. You just need to put that.
You hear it all the time. Why Youngstown State University? Here's why. Because when it comes to engineering, medicine, sports, business, and the skills you need to take your place in the world, we take a backseat to nobody. Because we're the kind of people who look out for each other. Because we care about you, your success, and our future together. We are Youngstown State University, and now you know why. Nina's Pierogi House is your home for the area's best variety of pierogies. Daily specials include the Polish platter, the Hungarian platter, stuffed cabbage, and halushki. Having a last-minute get-together? Lena's has you covered with a wide variety of frozen take-home pierogies and dumplings. Go to Facebook at Lena's Pierogi House to see the weekly lineup of available flavors for dine-in or carry-out. Catch the best at Lena's Monday from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and Tuesday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. 20 North Main Street in Hubbard or call 234-254-8532.
During the fall and winter, grilling season never ends, and Gessler Propane is your local supplier that makes sure you get your hard-earned money's worth. Why go to gas exchanges to pay higher prices for tanks not filled to capacity? Gessler Propane makes sure you're prepared for year-round grilling with 100% filled tanks at a reasonable cost. See Bob Monday through Friday, 10 to 4, and Saturday, 9 to 3 at Gessler Propane, 702 Youngstown Poland Road, Struthers, or call 330-755-9119. Gessler Propane. They got gas.
Someone's got to set the tone out there, boys. Someone's got to set it.
The station that sets the tone for Youngstown Phantoms hockey is Western Reserve Radio. WRDB, The Scourge.
Yeah, just keep us in tune with that. If we do it too tight, you'll probably get blisters and stuff. Okay. So if we need to throw anything. All right, perfect. Thank you.
Professional, fast, highly knowledgeable, easy to work with. These are real reviews by customers of Sandrock Concrete. For all your concrete block, brick, stone, stonework, and excavating needs, call Jerry Sandrock. For your free estimate at 330-506-0013. Sandrock Concrete is fully insured and ready to make your ideas a reality. Sandrock Concrete is a proud supporter and sponsor of Mahoning Valley High School football on Western Reserve Radio.
Looking to buy or sell a home? Team Marzo with Next Home Go 30 Realty can help. As a premier real estate team in the Mahoning Valley, we bring a unique and progressive approach to real estate using top listing technology, unique signage, and best practices in mobile and online marketing. Our customer-centric approach combines the best of technology with years of marketing expertise to provide an exceptional buying or selling experience. Call us today at 330-503-2250 so you can move with Marzo.
This is Everett Fitzhugh, the radio voice of the NHL Seattle Kraken, and when I want to catch up with Youngstown sports, I tune in to Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
Hello, Kubo. What have you got planned for today?
Come on, this way.
Adventure can be found anywhere, but the best place to start is in the forest.
It's the most powerful magic there is.
Head outside to discover incredible animals.
Wow.
And beautiful plants that come together to create an unforgettable adventure. So grab your loved ones and explore a world of possibilities. Visit discovertheforest.org to find the closest forest or park to you. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the U.S. Forest Service.
My teacher said that we should have a plan in case of an emergency. Do we have one?
First thing I'm going to do is grab a flashlight with dead batteries.
I'm going to start randomly throwing clothes in the bag. You two will be hiding in the closet and Dad won't be able to find you.
And that's when we both start crying.
Uncontrollably. Can you pass the cutlets?
Winging it is not an emergency plan. Make sure your kids know what to do during an emergency. Who to call, where to meet, what to pack. Search Ready Kids at nyc.gov or call 311. Brought to you by the New York City Office of Emergency Management and the Ad Council.
Passion, talent, development. NCAA hockey offers all that, and its players graduate at a 90% rate. Joe Pavelski.
Backhand scores! Wow, what a goal!
Johnny Gaudreau. And Torrey Krug were stars on campus before the NHL stage. Whether you are a fan or a player, nothing compares to college hockey. Visit collegehockeyinc.com and follow @collegehockey.
Champions of the college hockey world!
To the stations that are always ahead of the game. Western Reserve Radio, Western Reserve Radio 2, and City View Sportscast. Youngstown, Ohio.
Florida Raptors, Florida 1 Lumberjacks. So, if we're counting, which we're not, David Deputy, 2 goals and an assist for the second straight game. Chase Stefanik, a goal and an assist. Ivan Rapkin, a goal and an assist. Tynan Lawrence, 2 assists. Really strong performance all the way up and down the lineup from the Lumberjacks, including the guy on the back end of the lineup. The goalie in between the pipes, that's Shika Kadziev. 18 saves on 19 shots against. He faced 8 of them in that second period, turned aside all 8. Owen Leapak, meanwhile, 7 saves on 11 shots against. He faced 7 in that second period. He's faced 11 total. Lumberjacks, they were really the slower team in the first half of that period, but really turned it on in the second half of the period. You could say that the power play from the Peter Cesar interference call is what jump-started the Jacks offense. Youngstown's 1 for 2 on the advantage. The Lumberjacks 1 for 1. Let's take a quick look around the USHL out-of-town scoreboard. Same score in Madison, though it's the visiting Dubuque Fighting Saints. 11 and a half minutes away from a return to the Eastern Conference Finals. They lead 4-1. 3-1. Sioux Falls. 7 minutes to go in their second period. Joey McGraw is second of the game. Extends the lead. Dylan Compton, the goal scorer for the Hawks. The Herd looking to stay alive. The Phantoms, their season, either has 20 minutes left or they live to see another day, but they need 3 straight goals here in the third period to do it. Don't go anywhere. Third period comes up when we come back right here on Flow Hockey and the Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces. Welcome back into Flow Hockey, the Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces. There's 36 seconds left in the intermission. I wonder if they're just going to let it go, or if we'll start just a hair early. The fellows are just milling around the ice. And a little classic rock plays out on the speakers. Now we're ready to go. 20 minutes up on the board. The Lumberjacks 20 minutes away from their second straight appearance in the Eastern Conference Finals. It looks, if the scores hold, like we get a rematch of last year's conference final, Dubuque and Muskegon. If Madison and Youngstown have anything to say about it, they say no, sir. Face-off won by Youngstown. They get it deep. Here's David Klee, though, and sent down the ice. The Jacks moving left to right across your screens and radios here in the third period. Leapak holds on as it trickled on to him. Hanrahan, a bit of a whack for Galanic. Some more whistles from the refs, but the face-off will stay on the near side of the Youngstown zone. Well, here's the trickiness of it. You want to make sure, if you're the Lumberjacks, that you don't get caught up in the post-whistle extracurricular activities. Talked about it in the first period. It's a strategy. It's a strategy that Youngstown, they have perfected, of getting underneath your skin. Colson Hanrahan, he's one of those guys that no one wants to play against, but you'd love to have him on your team. It's why he wears the C in Youngstown. Just got to keep cool heads if you're wearing a white jersey. Here's Klee behind his own net, the captain here in Muskegon. Left off for Clares and pushed ahead for Nestrasil. Through the neutral zone, he sends it in, far side corner. Santilli, the first one on it, colliding with Galanic, and now here's Slies. Up the near side, taken away by Lawrence, regained by Slies, looking for Messick. It's back with Lawrence. Now down for Deputy. Behind the net, across the way. Deputy turns and fires. Nice save. Comes back out in front. A beautiful diving poke check by Slies, but now it's kept in by Deputy. He's forced to the neutral zone and starts a reload, leaving off for Finn McLaughlin. Now Lawrence ahead for Veo. Xavier across the way, glove down by Rapkin. Forced to the corner. It's picked up by Lawrence, but hand pass called against the Lumberjacks. The face-off will be near side of the neutral zone, just in front of us here in the broadcast booth. Lawrence, he leans in across from Rusinski. Deputy and Rapkin up front with Tynan. McLaughlin and Veo behind him. Jardine and Bannock joining Rusinski with Osborne and Hanrahan on the back end. The face-off won by Muskegon, though Osborne gets it and gains the red line. It goes off the backside of Jardine, and now here comes Rusinski. Off for Bannock, fired on. Great block by McLaughlin. Falls down to the ice and quickly gets back up to his feet. Here's Osborne near side. His shot blocked by Veo this time and chipped out to the neutral zone where Rapkin chases on to Hanrahan. But now Rusinski. Near side Jardine, and across the way it goes. Here comes Osborne. Down the wall, looking for Bannock. Instead finds Veo. On the near side, Osborne works to keep it in. He's pressured by Christ and cycled down low. Taken away by Veo again, looking for Christ. Osborne met now by Rapkin. Rusinski to the near side, Bannock into the offensive zone. Cuts across the way, finds Rusinski. Poked away by Stefanik, but a shot from Osborne followed and went wide. Now it's Sobieski to the near side, Rusinski. 2 minutes and change gone here in the third period. Sobieski sends it in to the near side, Bannock. Met by Daxheimer. Now Houston steps in, helped out by Hextall to keep it in. Down to the near side corner, Jack Hextall out for Bannock. Fired on. Gontiev makes the save. First shot of the period for the Phantoms. First save of the period for Shika Gontiev. Face off near side. Stewart, he leans in. Joined by Stefanik and Spitznagel up front. Daxheimer and Toll are both on the hash marks as the defensemen. Resendez and Hextall joining Smith. Face-off was won by Stewart, and now here's Spitznagel through the neutral zone. Gains the red line and sends it deep. Takes a check from Smith. While Houston, the first one on it. Reverse is behind the net, and to the far side it goes. Brecken Smith opened the scoring on Sunday, while Hextall sends it in. Far side corner, Bauerberry. The Edmonton Oilers draft pick plays off the near side wall and down the ice. Icing waved off. Christ takes a whack from Houston while Sobieski takes the puck behind the net. Stewart, soft pressure on the forecheck. Forces Sobieski far side. He finds Bannock. Taken away by Van Blaricombe. MVB working across from Smith. Kirk Gherkin in the area as well, but now here comes Resendez. Poked away by Reese Lance. Gherkin looks to clear it. Kept in by Resendez. Fired in front. Hextall looking for the redirection, but defended well by Lance. Now Gherkin thrown to the middle of the ice. Hextall off for Del Haro and across the way. Santilli's shot onto Gontiev. Inter goes back towards the blue paint, and Shika picks it up in his glove for the stoppage. A look back at the out-of-town scoreboard. It is now 5-1 in favor of the Fighting Saints. Lucas Van Vliet. They were trailing 1-0 in the series after dropping Game 1, a 3-0 shutout for Madison. The next two games, Game 2 in Dubuque, Game 3 in Madison, went the way of the Fighting Saints. And with 7:56 to go in regulation, they're on their way to the 3-1 series win. Veo chips it out of the zone. Hanrahan gloves it down. Far side, McLaughlin high in the air. Here comes David Cleet. They defended well by Osborne. Stengrim centers for Conlin. It goes the way of Hanrahan. Onside, near side, Stengrim. Met by Veo and sent down low. McLaughlin has Hess all over him. Drops off for Cleet. Down the ice. Icing waved off. Hanrahan a chance to play it. Chose to play the body instead. Now it's Leibhack. Off for Osborne. Through the middle of the ice. Off of Jake Toll. Icing waved off. And now here's Clares. Near side, Hess. Thrown out in front. Colin tapped on to Gontiev, and he holds on. 15:45 to go in regulation. Shots are 22-12 in favor of Youngstown. It's been that way all season long. They outshoot opponents a lot more often than opponents outshoot them. But it's been the Lumberjacks' ability to score on a limited amount of opportunities. That's been the storyline of this second round matchup. 5 goals on Saturday, 6 goals on Sunday, and now here on Tuesday, the Jacks have 4. David Deputy, 2 goals and an assist again. He's back on the ice with Rapkin and Stewart, who took the draw. Here comes David Deputy. It's kept in by DeHaro. Forced out by Rapkin. Here he comes. DeHaro had his stick held up. Sobieski takes possession in his own zone. Harassed by Rapkin. Now Lawrence gets it to Rapkin in the corner. Away from DeHaro. Behind the net, Ivan Rapkin looked to leave off for Lawrence, but it's regained by DeHaro. Then against the wall, it goes across the way. Sobieski finds Slice. Now Lawrence, down low, Deputy. Side of the net, looks out for Rapkin, defended by DeHaro. Now Lawrence a chance, big save. He gets the rebound to the near side. Across the way to Deputy in the corner, behind the net, away from DeHaro. David Deputy Out in front finds Lawrence up to the blue line and played off the wall. Messick picks it up and goes across the way. The Jacks, they changed 3. Rapkin and Lawrence still on, now joined by Christ with Barry and Lance. Kept in by Jack Christ. Michael Messick tries again. Across the way, it's still Haro. Plays back to the near side. Messick met by Lance. 5 slides. Great poke check by Lance on the back check. Shuts it down, and now Rapkin goes to work in the corner. Leaves off for Bauer Berry. Behind the net, here's Lance to the near side. Ivan Rapkin clears it down the ice. Santilli sticks it down. Big check by Rapkin onto Santilli. Picked back up by Lance. He'll lead the rush. Stefanik knocked down by Slies. Icing waved off. Here's Spitznagel. Far side corner colliding with Houston. Now Rusinski met by Stefanik. Played back in the corner, and here's Houston. Taken back by Spitznagel. Stefanik now. Up to the blue line. It trickles out of the zone. Veo picks it up. Sends in just wide of Lepak. It's Cesar, the first one on it. And it's back with Houston in his own zone. Cesar to the near side. Here's Veo. Weird carom off the stanchion. It's back with Jardine, though the Phantoms are offside. So it goes back for Rusinski at the logo. He sends in softly, allowing Godziev to play it far side for McLaughlin. Chipped in the air down the ice. Hanrahan, the first one on it. To the near side, Osborne. Over the red line, now the blue. Sends it out of play. And the faceoff will go back to the neutral zone with 13:23 showing on the center hung scoreboard. The faceoff will come on the other side of our first media timeout here in the third period. The Lumberjacks, they're holding on to a 4-1 lead. They're 13 and a half minutes away from the Eastern Conference Finals. You're watching the 2025 Clark Cup playoffs right here on Flow Hockey and the Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces. Welcome back into Flow Hockey, the Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces. A couple of replays from this third period. The lights, though, they are off here at Trinity Health Arena. A little bit of journey to get the mood set. 13:23 to go in regulation. You're watching the 2025 Clark Cup playoffs, and you're watching them right here on the official live stream partner of the USHL Flow Hockey, as well as the Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces. A shout out to the fans back home in Youngstown at the Kensington Golf Simulators, the Phantoms official watch party location, as well as the fans back home in Youngstown listening along on Western Reserve Radio, the official broadcast partner of the Phantoms. Face off near side of the neutral zone. The Phantoms just a step and a half outside of the Jacks' end. Stewart leans in across from Rusinski. Nestrasil, he's on the inside, or rather the outside, near side. David Klee across from him. Veo and McLaughlin on the back end. Rusinski with Jardine and Cesar. One back by Rusinski. Osborne across for Hanrahan and sent in. To the near side, here's Xavier Veo. Off for Nestrasil and sent down the ice. Enough mustard for icing. The answer is no. Here's Hanrahan. Far side, Rusinski. He sends it in. Godziev turns it aside. Now Jardine, met by Veo, is taken by the Jacks. Alternate captain out of L'Ancienne, Laureate, Quebec, Canada. Up the near side, here's Galanik, met by Rusinski, finds Nestrasil. Vaslov holds, fires, low bar pad, swiped away by Cesar. Now here comes Rusinski the other direction. To the near side, finds Jardine, met by the fresh-legged Barrett Dexheimer, and pinning along the wall all the way down to the corner. McLaughlin, he holds, far side, near side, Stewart gets it, so icing waved off. Now Lepak across the way, finds Sobieski. The middle of the ice, here comes Brecken Smith. The offensive zone, good check by Galanik. Stewart the other way. In the offensive zone, plays off the wall, but his number 6, Sobieski, takes it back. Now it's Houston. D to D with Sobieski. Sanderson, hard pressure. Up the near side, Resendez knocked away by Dexheimer. Puck goes out of play. And the face-off will go out into the neutral zone with 12:02 to go in regulation. You never met the coaching staff for the Lumberjacks? Let's do so. The head coach is Parker Burgess. The associate head coach, Colton St. Clair. They're assisted by C.J. Cush. The video coach is Adam Morrison. Back on the bench, the long-time athletic trainer of the Lumberjacks is Ian Wood. The equipment manager is Eddie Duffy. Here's Hextall in the offensive zone. Resendez sends it to the far side corner. Bowerberry, far side Rapkin. Now here's Lawrence. Looks out for Deputy, but it's taken away by Resendez, and now Smith the other way. Big collision. Ivan Rapkin, a huge check on to Brecken Smith, while Rapkin looks to clear the zone. Hess got it, and it goes out of play. $11:34 to go in regulation. 4-1, the Lumberjacks, they lead it. Deputy Rapkin and Lawrence with Toll and Lance. Lawrence across from Hess for the faceoff. Won by Youngstown. Here comes Lawrence the other way. Sends the offensive zone. Deputy and Osborne colliding. Near side corner and across the way. Here's Hanrahan. Knocked to the wall by Deputy. Osborne near side. Chips it out of the zone. Reese Lance in the area. Met by Stengrim. Battle continues near side of the neutral zone. Here's Osborne and across the way. Here's Hanrahan. He sends it in off the stick of a Lumberjack. Hess now. Look to pop out in front. It goes to Stengrim and now David Deputy. Met by Osborne in the corner. Deputy knocked down. The puck goes behind the net. Osborne gets it back in the corner. Luke Osborne, drafted by Buffalo, committed to Wisconsin, goes behind the net for Hess. Hitting against the wall by Toll. The battle continues with 10:42 to go in regulation. Osborne in front. Great play by Lance. Shut it down. He intercepted the pass. And now icing is called against the Lumberjacks. And I'm sure we're going to see Parker Burgess take his timeout. Let's see. 10:33 to go in regulation. Burgess standing, looking at the official, and takes his timeout. $10:33 to go in the third. The Lumberjacks with some tired legs on the ice. Look to get some new ones on. With a 3-goal lead, they burn their timeout. We won't go anywhere, though. We'll take a look at the USHL out-of-town scoreboard. I'm wondering if this graphic will give us the out-of-town scoreboard. Let's see. We're thinking about putting it up on the broadcast. Here we go. I don't see it. Well, either way, Dubuque, they are in Madison tonight. Yeah, so we sort of have it, just a little bit. Dubuque's in Madison. They lead 6-1. Ekman finding the back of the net. Sioux Falls, they lead Waterloo 4-2. It's 4-1 here in Muskegon between the Lumberjacks and Phantoms. That's an old school graphic. That one's got the Hockey TV logo on it. And those are all not tonight, but tomorrow and the rest of the games throughout this second round. But it showed the second round matchups that are still going on. Lincoln already punched their ticket to the Western Conference Finals. The 2024-25 Anderson Cup champions took care of business. Their first 3 games of the postseason, all in the win column. A 3-game sweep over the Sioux City Musketeers. Lumberjacks looking to do the same over top the 1 seed here in the East. 10.5 away from it. Here comes Stefanik down the ice. A foot race across from DeHaro. Stefanik poked off his stick. Still has possession, though. Up to the blue line, McLaughlin sends it towards the net. Redirected by Spitznagel, but wide. And now here's Sobieski. Away from Spitznagel. Far side, DeHaro. To the near side, Michael Messick. Met by Veo. The two collide. Puck goes behind the net. McLaughlin to the near side. Met by Cesar. It's played around for Sobieski across the way. Kazimir Sobieski to DeHaro. Sent on net. Godziev paddled it below the goal line. Slides now near side corner. Popped out in front. Sobieski, big slap shot turned aside by Godziev once more. And now here's Christ. Taken back by Messick. Fired on to Godziev. Let's play continue just for a moment. Now DeHaro, a check to the back of Stefanik as the whistle blows. 9:40 to go in regulation. Now we'll take a step aside. The Lumberjacks, they lead 4-1 here on Flow Hockey and the Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces. You're watching the 2025 Clark Cup Playoffs.
You finally found the perfect car in Racing Blue. You even got them to throw in the LED fog lights for free. Auto Owners insures your car because some people never learn to parallel park. That's simple human sense.
Ask the Jervis Fethke Insurance Agency in Muskegon if Auto Owners make sense for you.
Keep going. More.
Welcome back into Flow Hockey, Lumberjacks Hockey Network, presented by Lakeside Surfaces. What you didn't see during that media timeout, a couple of Jacks fans brought the umbrellas to the, or not umbrellas, they brought the brooms to the game tonight. The Lumberjacks looking to break their brooms out. Still 10.5 to go, make it 9.5. 9:40 to go in regulation. 4-1 the Jacks, they lead it. Here's Claire's near side corner of his own zone across the way, and now it's Ivan Rapkin, make it Jack Golanek. Chipped in the air on the ice, hand. Decided to play a check onto Klee. Icing waved off. Puck never crossed the goal line. Now Golanek behind the net. Carries on the near side. Holds. Carey is still up top. Turns and fires. And Lepak, he holds on. $9:18 to go in regulation. Oslov Nestrasil, a big piece of the Lumberjacks offense this year. He's been strong in the postseason. 4 points in 5 games entering tonight's matchup. Face off near side, though he's off. Deputy, Lawrence, and Rapkin back on. Ivan leans in. Barry and Claire's on the back end. Jack Hextall across from Ivan Rapkin. Won by Hextall, and now here's DeHaro across the way. Finds Brecken Smith. Chips it in the air to the neutral zone. It's knocked down by Deputy. Picked up by Resendez. Across the way, Smith met by Rapkin. Heavy collision. And now Ivan clears the zone ahead for Lawrence. Knocked out of the air by Sobieski. Far side, Hextall. Away from the check of Rapkin. Now Claire's. Up the near side, Deputy sends it in. Lawrence gives chase onto DeHaro. Centered for Sobieski. Far side, taken by Lawrence, though it's regained by DeHaro. Down the ice it goes. Icing called against the Phantoms with 8:40 remaining in regulation. Four to 1, the Lumberjacks, they lead it. Shots 25-15 in favor of the Phantoms. If the Lumberjacks win this game, the conference finals will start Friday night in Dubuque. If Youngstown wins this game, we have game 4 tomorrow at 7 p.m. Here's Hextall, far side, off the glass, down the ice. This time, no icing. Smith gets it deep. Here's Shika Godziev to the near side, Dexheimer, and across the way, David Klee, met by Rusinski. Played to the neutral zone. Nestrasil finds Dexheimer and gives it back. Nestrasil fired on. Lepak continues play off for Houston. Away from Golanek, now met by Stewart. Pinnock got a piece of it, so icing waved off. Here's Jardine. Behind the net, Evan Jardine popped out in front. Off the skate of Rusinski. Still at the top of the blue paint. It's tapped to the corner, and here's Jardine. Up top, Houston. Back to Jardine, far side. Going to the bench is Lepak. Extra attackers on for the Phantoms. Back door. Santilli couldn't catch the pass. Here's Houston. Walks the blue line far side. Fired on. Gadziev the save. He holds on as well with 7:45 to go in regulation. Oh, and now we all come together below the goal line. Jack Golanek has been red hot for the Lumberjacks in the playoffs. 7 points, tied for the USHL lead in the postseason. Now David Deputy, he's got 8 of them. 6 goals and 2 assists. Lepak back onto the ice. He's at the top of the circles and now makes his way onto the bench. Slies, Rusinski, Jardine, Hanrahan and Osborne, the extra attacker, Bannock, stands in the middle of the blue line. The door to the Youngstown bench is open with Lepak standing inside of it. Puck is dropped. Bannock goes straight back to the bench since they lost the faceoff. Now they regain possession. It comes to the near side. The official blows a tire. The puck goes to the neutral zone. Here's Hanrahan. Over the red line near side finds Osborne. Lepak getting a workout in, makes his way back to the bench for the Phantoms. Barry looked to clear it. It's kept in by Jardine. Up top to Hanrahan. Holds far side. Centers for Bannock. Fired on wide of the cage. Osborne met by Toll. Joined on the back end by Bauer Barry. It's Stefanik, Deputy, and Spitznagel up front. Slies, far side corner. Leaves off for Jardine. Barry, a good body check. Slies and Spitznagel come in. It comes up top to Hanrahan. Near side, Bannock, and cycle down low. 6:54 to go in regulation. Jardine, far side. Up to the blue line. Middle of the slot. Turns and fires. Gadziev the save as he fell backwards. The whistle's blown. The official hasn't called goal or no goal with 6:46 to go. The call on the ice is no goal. The officials will talk things over with 6:46 showing on the center hung video board. Shikabut and Gadziev, 26 saves on 27 shots tonight. He has played phenomenal in the crease for the Lumberjacks, the Makachkala Russia native. Alongside Stephen Peck, the net-minding tandem here in Muskegon, the best in the USHL. Face off our side. Back on the bench, Lepak. It's Hextall across from Lawrence. A couple of 08 birth years. Face off one by Hextall. Here's Osborne, met by Rapkin. Laid out in front, off of Hextall's chest. Rapkin clears it down the ice. Lawrence looks to win the race. Jumps to the far side of Osborne, but it's picked up instead by Resendez. And in Resendez, the offensive zone, kicks out for Michael Messick, and it's wrapped around for Resendez near side. Nestrasil sends it down the ice. It trickles all the way down, and icing called against the Lumberjacks. Face-off will be far side. Lawrence, Rapkin, and Nestrasil up front. Veo and McLaughlin behind them. Rusinski, Slies, Jardine, Bannock with the Horo and Sobieski. The face-off goes the way to the corner. Slies is on top of it. It's taken by Rapkin. Looks for the empty net, but icing will be called against the Lumberjacks again. Just missed the empty cage. Face off back on the far side. Same 11 guys on the ice. Lawrence across from Rusinski. One back by Lawrence. Straight to the bench goes Rapkin. Battle far side corner. Lawrence and McLaughlin there for the Lumberjacks. Spin against the wall. Rusinski goes up to DeHoro. Back in the net is Lepak, and sending down the ice was Rapkin, so icing called against the Lumberjacks once more. So it's interesting on the face-off inside the Lumberjack zone. Youngstown, they keep the door open and Lepak inside of the door frame. That way, if they lose the draw, Banach just turns around and busts his butt back to the bench. Lepak is already halfway back to the net. Face-off, won by the Lumberjacks. Rapkin sent it down the ice, but it went off of a Phantom. So here's Banach, the first one on it. Away from Nestrasil, up the near side. Banach still with it through the neutral zone. Curls away from Vaslov. He's replaced by Stewart. Here's Sobieski. The offensive zone, curls away from Chris and finds Jardine. Far side, Jardine fires, sticked away by Godziev. To the near side, Evan Jardine up top for Banach. Walks down the near side wall, toe drag to a shot, blocked by Stewart. It's back behind the net to the near side. Here's Slice. He's knocked down by Dexheimer, picked up by Rusinski. Away from Stewart, he cycles it down and around to the far side. Sobieski drops for it, fires on. Godziev able to make a save through a screen while Jardine takes the puck to the near side for Rusinski. Now DeHaro, his shot through traffic. Godziev got a blocker on it. Stefanik finds Stewart. Stewart knocked down. Plays the blue line, but DeHaro keeps it in. Connor DeHaro, far side wall. Fires to the near side for Slice. His shot off of Godziev, taken by Chris. Looks for the empty net. It's wide, so icing will be called against the Lumberjacks again. Face-off will be near side of the Muskegon zone. Messick leans in across from Stewart. Resendez, the outside trigger position. Net empty for Youngstown. They win the draw. Resendez near side. Up top to Hanrahan. Now Resendez. Off for Osborne. Far side. One-timer. Godziev the save. Rebound behind the net for Cesar. Up top Osborne. 4:19 to go in regulation. Near side Hanrahan. Hanrahan fires. Godziev the save. Rebound loose. Top of the blue paint. Resendez a chance. It goes wide. Far side Osborne. Walks to the middle of the blue line. Another shot. This time blocked by Berry. Hextall on his knees inside the blue paint. While Berry takes some cross checks to the back from Cesar. Dexheimer looks to clear it and does. Down the ice. It's picked up by Hanrahan in the neutral zone. Fans on the pass. It's Osborne near side. 3:45 to go in regulation. He sends it in. Messick across the way, down low for Hextall. Met by Dexheimer, now up top Hanrahan. Looking for Banach, taken away by Deputy and pushed down the ice. Icing called against the Lumberjacks with 3:31 to go. Clee with Deputy, Lawrence, Berry, and Stewart. Rusinski, Slice, Jardine, Banach, DeHaro, and Sobieski. Clee leans in. It's won by Rusinski. Now Banach off for DeHaro, near side, Sobieski. Met by Stewart. Walks the blue line. Fired on. They score. It's Jamison Slice providing a net front screen. The shot from Kazimir Sobieski to the back of the net. Youngstown, they get back to within two with 3:24 to go in regulation. Take a look at the M-Live replay. It starts with a face-off win by Rusinski, and then Sobieski just walks to the middle of the blue line. Betters his angle and also maximizes the amount of bodies and legs and screens between him and Shika Godziev. It goes all the way straight through. And the Phantoms, they cut the deficit to 2 with 3:24 to go in regulation. Back in the net, Lepak, Rusinski, Slice, and Jardine stay on with DeHaro and Sobieski. Banach, he's sitting on the dashboard at the Youngstown bench. Face-off won by the Lumberjacks. Here's Toll in his own zone. Up the far side, make it the near side. Jardine takes it. Going to the bench, Lepak, battle for possession. Veo in for the Lumberjacks. It's DeHaro, now Sobieski. across for Bannock. Fired from a tough angle, but blocked by Toll. Played off the glass of the blue line. Forced out of the zone by Bauer-Berry. And now here's Rusinski. Near side to Horo. To the offensive zone, but offside with 2:57 to go in regulation. Well, every player on both benches standing at the edge of the boards. The Lumberjacks, known to be seated throughout gameplay. But late in regulation, 2-goal game, a chance to advance on the line. Lawrence leans in near side across from Rusinski. Nestrasil and Galanic on his wings. One back by Lawrence. Some help from Galanic. Lepak in between the hash marks. Waits for his signal. Puck goes out of play. Jacks can't change, and there goes Lepak. 2:50 to go in regulation. Face off near side of the Lumberjack zone. Luke Osborne on to replace the Horo. Rusinski across from Lawrence again. 32 shots on net for Youngstown. 30 saves for Shigagaziev. The face-off, won by Muskegon. Nestrasil down the ice. Is it on target? It's just wide. It trickled through the blue paint on its way to the far side corner. And the face-off will come back down to the Muskegon zone. Feels like we're watching a basketball game with how long the final 5 minutes of regulation is taking. All the icings, the Lumberjacks looking for the empty net. Rusinski takes the draw across from Lawrence. Bannock directly behind him. 2 feet inside the face-off circle. It's won by Lawrence and pushed down to the corner. Behind the net, chip to the near side. Here's Veo, backhanded off the glass. Nestrasil gets it, but the whistle's blown. Not sure why the whistle was blown. I guess the puck went out of play off of Xavier Veo's chip down the ice. Take a look at the M-Live replay here. Veo got it down the ice. That is such a check from behind. Youngstown takes a timeout. Let's see if we can get one more look at that replay. Take a look here on Veo getting it down the ice. Youngstown, they call their timeout. 2-goal game with under 3 minutes to go in regulation. Barry, McLaughlin, Galanic, Nestrasil, and Lawrence stand on the ice for the Lumberjacks. As they talk things over, head coach Parker Burgess has the whiteboard in his hand. Ryan Ward has his whiteboard in his hand. Bannock, Sobieski, Jardine, Slies, and Osborne all standing on the ice. They're now joined by Rusinski. Two and a half to go in regulation. 2:32 to be exact. Lawrence and Galanic get off. Stefanik and Stewart jump on. Drusinski across from Drew Stewart. The net still empty for Youngstown. They've got 1 goal with the extra attacker already. They need 2 more. One back by Stewart. Here's Barry in the corner, colliding with Slies. It comes out to Bannock. Up to the blue line, Osborne. Across the goal scorer, Sobieski. Back up top, Osborne. Fires a shot. It goes wide. Here's Drew Stewart protecting it in the corner. Pin against the wall, taking time off the clock. He's joined by Bauer-Berry. It pops out. Nestrasil. It's kept in by Osborne. Away from Vaslov. Good effort by Nestrasil. It goes down to the corner. Here's Jardine colliding with Stewart. Taken away by Drew Stewart. Sent down the ice. Does it have enough mustard? It does, but it's off target. About 6 inches wide to the right. And icing's called against the Lumberjacks. Oh, so close. It was within the outer ring of the crease. The faceoff will come back to the near side of the Lumberjack zone with 1:55 to go in regulation. One back by Messick. Here's Hanrahan down for Resendez, who walks up top near side at the blue line. Across the way, Messick holds and fires and scores. 1-goal game with 1:43 to go. Youngstown, a pair of empty net goals. This game's not quite over yet. Their 34th shot of the game finds the back of the net. Take a look at the M-Live replay. Hanrahan off for Resendez. He carries it all the way up before firing it across the way to Michael Messick. And with the absence of Justin Kerr, Messick forced into a tough role as a top six centerman. And the faceoff will come back to center ice. He's replaced by Rusinski. Faceoff won back by Youngstown. At the hash marks, Lepak is taken to the near side. Here's Veo. 3-on-1 rush. Veo looks for Rapkin, but is taken away by Slice. Now going to the bench is Lepak. It's wrapped in the Muskegon zone, but knocked the first one on it. Met by Veo. Lawrence pinned against the wall by Rusinski. Battle continues. 1:20 to go in regulation. Toll meeting Jardine is chipped to the blue line and gloved down by Osborne. Away from Deputy and across the way, Sobieski. It squirts the neutral zone. To the near side, Osborne. Back to the offensive end. Luke Osborne below the goal line, behind the net to the far side. Met by Veo and pinned against the wall. The battle continues. Jardine out for Rusinski. Up top, Sobieski. Near side slides, centers for Rusinski. Forced out by Lawrence. Here he comes. Tynan Lawrence tripped up, puts it to the back of the net anyway. And the Lumberjacks, they regain the 2-goal lead. Under a minute to go, 45 seconds from the Eastern Conference Finals. Take a look at the M-Live replay. Slides went up top. Tynan Lawrence, a great effort to force it out of the zone. And then all by himself behind the defense to the empty net. Took it to about the 5-yard line before just giving it a little tush push across the goal line. Face off at center ice features Messick and Klee. Net empty again for Youngstown. One back by Messick. Golanik to the near side. Battles for possession across from Daharo and Resendez. It's Cesar who comes away with it. He sends it in. Godziet behind the net. Looks for the empty net. Sent down the ice. It's going to be off target, though, to the far side corner. An icing called against the Lumberjacks. Shika Godziev said, "Hey, fellas, I know you've scored 5.5 goals a game this series. Why don't I get in on the action?" Face-off will go far side. Klee, this time across from Rusinski, the top 6-man unit on for Youngstown. David Klee, the captain for the Lumberjacks, one of the top centermen in the USHL, leans in and wins it back. McLaughlin to the near side, popped out in front, but not couldn't get it to go. Now here's Spitznagel. Off for Klee to the blue line, kept in by Osborne. 18 seconds, great block by Spitznagel. Another one blocked by Golanik. Down in the corner, Jardine. Played down low, here's Bauer-Berry. Jardine, fired wide. Goes all the way down the net, the Lumberjacks. 4 seconds to go. Osborne, near side. Time expires, the Jacks are going back to the Eastern Conference Finals. I'm talking with David Deputy when we come back here on Flow Hockey and the Lumberjacks Hockey Network presented by Lakeside Surfaces.
The Lumberjacks win! The Lumberjacks win! That makes the final score of tonight's game. Your Lumberjacks 5, Youngstown 3. Shots on goal for the third period. Lumberjacks had 6 shots on goal for a 3-period total of 17. Youngstown had 14 shots on goal for a 3-period total of 33. Fans, stick around to find out which players will be named our 3 stars and grinder of the game. And one of the great traditions in sports after a tough series, the handshake at center ice. Congratulations, Youngstown, on a fine season. And your Lumberjacks are going to the Eastern Conference Finals. Well, see you on Tuesday? Probably, huh? I'm pretty sure that's what it was. It's 6-1, the final. Oh, yeah. Let's hear you, Lumberjack fans. Get the brooms out. We're going to the we're going to the conference finals. I got to do some announcing here first, man, but I'll try. Yeah, we got to win.
We thank you for joining us for this special presentation of Western Reserve Radio. And we now return to our regularly scheduled programming. Youngstown, Warren, and Salem's local and national sports talk can be found on TuneIn and the Live 365 app at Western Reserve Radio, WRDB, The Scourge.
Grizzlies have scored 5 straight points here. It was just 22 a minute ago, so now you're going to have to sweat this out, laying the 14.5.
Come on now. Got a lot at stake.
Live line is 18.5 with 3 minutes to go, a 17-point game.
Come on now.
Looks like DraftKings is probably going to close here. We're about 20 minutes away from tip-off in L.A. Lakers 5.5-point favorites, total of 211. Do you still see 6s out there in the market?
Let me double check here. I'm looking. So DraftKings is the lone 6 out there. That is gone now. So now down to 5.5. I think, again, as we look at our game of the night one more time before we head off. Actually, we still have an hour. I don't mean head off, but before we get to this contest starting, I have 5.5 of Minnesota. Contest and bet. I just think it's a bridge too far. Again, I will reiterate that I just don't buy in to upgrading this number for a game just because the Lakers lost in game one. The Timberwolves, they hit 70% of their wide open threes. They generated 29 wide open threes, and that is a possibility. The other part, Lakers shot 55% at the rim. That could continue. Rudy Gobert's good. They're a good defensive team, Minnesota is. They could cut the rim off to this Lakers group. So I think the market